We back up in this. Y'all already know. Cause I am the baddest of them all. If you ain't about money, then I don't mess with y'all. Y'all think I don't get girls, cause I ain't very tall. If she see my stacks, I bet you that she calls. You know that I am the baddest of them all. If you ain't about money, then I don't mess with y'all. Y'all think I don't get girls, cause I ain't very tall. If she see my stacks, I bet you that she calls. I had to fight my whole life. I could beat you up even if you had 1,000 knives. Even if you had infinity knives, I would punch you up into the air like a kite. I bet you sleep with the night light, cause you're scared of the dark, cause you stink like a fart. Well, I light your fart on fire with my rhymes. You think I won't? I do it all the time. I bet I got more money than Jay-Z. Compared to me, Jay-Z is lazy. Plus Beyonce thinks that I'm cute. It's okay, Beyonce, I think you're cute too. I made out with so many girls. I made out with every girl in the world. I might look small, but I'm not. I don't care if you're big, I'll fight you. Well, I do know that I am the baddest of them all. If you ain't about money, then I don't mess with y'all. Y'all think I don't get girls, cause I ain't very tall. If she see my stats, I bet you that she calls. Cause I am the baddest of them all. If you ain't about money, then I don't mess with y'all. Y'all think I don't get girls, cause I ain't very tall. If she see my stacks, I bet you that she calls. I have 400 cars. I have 400 scars and 400 guitars. I have 400 houses. I have 400 mouses and 400 houses. Bet you I can dance better than you. I bet you don't know 2 plus 2. It's 4, it's 4. Now go and shut the door, cause nobody wants to see your face no more. I'm tough as nails, you're slower than a snail. I beat up every single person in jail. I dare you to try and punch me. My face is so hard you'll say ouch, you crunched me. I fought 2 lions and won. And I don't even carry a gun, but I never run. But I never run. But I never but I never run. You know that I am the baddest of them all. If you ain't about money, then I don't mess with y'all.
Nah, man, not going satanic, just testing backgrounds.
Y'all think I don't get girls, cause I ain't very tall. If she see my stacks, I bet you that she calls. You know that I am the baddest of them all. If you ain't about money, then I don't mess with y'all. Y'all think I don't get girls, cause I ain't very tall. If she see my stacks, I bet you that she calls. Froggy Fresh. Alrighty.
Nah, I just been working on new stuff for the channel, new backdrops, whole new green screen setup stuff. I don't know, I just thought the videos were lacking a little bit. They needed to get a little bit better, a little more professional looking. So I slowly been building, guys. That's what I do, until my stuff looks legit, you know. Man, it is 5 o'clock in the morning. There's nobody awake but me. I knew that coming in. I just wanted to come in and really test everything. So you probably see some stuff moving around and stuff like that on the page. That's just because I'm working on stuff. Just, you know, what the page looks like, what the broadcast looks like, stuff like that. So I'm just trying to see how good it looks. Not bad. It's a little off my box, but pretty much the background looks pretty good. I don't look too bad. I thought it would look worse, but it came out pretty good. Dude, it's like 10 a.m. Scotland. Yeah, it's 5 a.m. Here. So everybody in America's still in bed. If they're up at 5 o'clock in the morning, more power to them. Tina and Steve ain't even up this late. Looks cool. Yeah, it don't look bad. I'm trying to look at the other screen. I got a couple different setups. Nobody's seen it yet, so I'm going to take it down after this, so you'll be the only person to see it until I release the whole new look tomorrow. I'm working on some new things, too. Just trying to, you know, keep it fresh, man. Like, just me. Let's see. Trying to see what this looks like on the screen. Not bad. That camera looks a little, I look a little faded in the shot, so. And the only other bad thing is there's a lot of light on me, guys. Look in my my sunglasses. See the lights beaming at me? I ain't used to that. That is kind of blinding. But I look pretty legit. My background don't look bad. It could be a little worked out a little bit better. I can see the overlay a little bit. Let me see how the other screen looks. Wait, what is that welcome shit? Oh, because this screen is on this screen. I got it. But yeah, see the planets? Nah, I ain't been out at the club. I've been at the house. I went to bed about 11, and I woke up about 2:15. So I slept a few hours. And then today I got up the green screen, put up the green screen and stuff. Because, you know, I've been shooting them MMA videos. So behind the green screen is all my MMA stuff. And I couldn't come up here and do, like, World Phenomenon and all that stuff with, let me go back to this other camera until I fix this one. I couldn't come up here doing World Phenomenon with, fighters behind me. It just would, it wouldn't look right. So let me see if I can do some tiny adjusting, guys, while you're here with me, I guess. I mean, I don't know no other way. Okay, I should go black. Screen should go black. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. That should be back. And for some reason, this looks like it needs to go up. Oh, that just moved me up. I don't want me up. I want the image up. Check out David Icke. Yeah, man, he be ratting on my alien people all the time. Alright, give me a second. I'll throw it on. I'm just trying to adjust the screen. You notice my image is moving? It's just moving tiny, but if you notice, it's moving. There we go. Now it's straight. What's up, Georgia? I'm working on some new green screen stuff for the channel. You just happened to catch it in the middle of it. What do you think about the new background? With the big clock. Lightning bolts. Little input. Yeah, but like I was saying, I didn't get up here really to talk about anything. I just got up here because I was working on the page. I'm doing some new layout stuff. I'm going to make it really cool. What's up, Heather? You know, I've been looking at everybody's videos. I need to have mine looking better than everybody's. My stuff needs to be fresher because I'm cooler than everybody else. So I need my stuff to look really good. So that's the chat room page. Let me show you the other one. And I'm going to change the home page. This one, I'm going to change because I ain't digging the skulls, but you get the idea. We got that set up. Let's go. Let's see.
Do you think you remember something one way, but now it's not that way at all? Perhaps you've seen a movie or a logo and now that movie just doesn't exist anymore or the logo has been changed. Confused? You're not alone.
So everyone's talking about the situation called the Mandela effect. But today you'll hear who and what insanity is behind the Mandela effect and why.
For those of you who don't know what the Mandela effect is, what rock have you been living under? The Mandela effect is a phenomenon where things are seemingly undoubtedly one way and large groups of people remember it that way, but now it's changed. So before getting into this conspiracy theory, what are the most common ideas about what is causing the Mandela effect? Some people think humans are stupid and they made all of this up. Some people think it's converging timelines. Some people think humans built a time machine and someone's screwing with our timeline. And some people think a black hole, yeah dude, a black hole is causing all this trouble. And some think it's something far more nefarious. Yeah, I just said word nefarious. Unfortunately for us, you can't.
Okay, so y'all digging the new green screen stuff? Is that pretty cool, guys, or what? Let's see. Let me go back over here. I thought everybody would be in bed. I didn't think nobody was going to jump in the room and I'd be able to sit here and play with it and move stuff around and so. But like I'm going to leave the clock. I kind of like this one, the clock. I'm going to change this one. You like the old way better with the toys? I don't know. I always had to clean up, picking stuff up all the time. Now it's just a wall behind me. You know, it ain't. I don't have to clean nothing up. I can just go. It's a lot more convenient for me. But what I was thinking about doing is I still got to get my toys and stuff in here somehow. You're just not going to see the bar behind me, but you're still going to get the toys and stuff. I'm going to tie them into everything. So I just ain't figured it all out yet. I got to move some stuff around in the studio to get a little more room, a little more distance. So, so my background's even bigger and stuff like that. Oh, you liked it better with my room behind me? Well, you know, it'll change. Sometimes the green screen won't be here. It'll be the room. All this is a temporary green screen wall that sits behind me. Like, if you look, it's like, hold on. Let me see if you can see. It's just, it's like a big banner. A big green banner. And I can put anything on the back of it I want. The only thing is it's a lot of lights. And I hate all the lights. I feel like I'm on fire. You know me, I got sensitive eyes, and now I'm sitting in the light. Okay, y'all, you can just get. It takes time to get used to new changes, guys. It takes a little time to get used to new changes. I know. It's hard to deal with. But I don't know. It's a little more convenient to have it like this, other than the lights. So y'all give me a second. I wanna look at something real fast. On my screen here. Alright, I'm just trying to see what this other layout looks like, guys. Alright, let's see. It looks pretty cool, I think. I mean, now that I'm looking at it on the screen, it don't look too bad. The red, the background's kind of red, goes with all the red writing. I mean, my color needs to be adjusted a little bit on me. I look a little grayish. Maybe I could have my toys floating around. Or when I introduce them and I go like this, boom, it'll be a big image of my toy. And I can be like, I got Voltron, bam. But I'm going to have a little table sitting here with my guys on it. You'll be able to see them. They're coming back. And then as I introduce my guys, they'll pop up huge on the screen. Voltron, you know, Brain. They're getting more time, man. It was contractual. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole bunch of fine print. Them rats got little handwriting. So you got to like really get in there. And you know I got bad eyes. I can't see. So they slipped a couple things over on me, man. And so there's going to be some changes. I told y'all there were some changes coming. So let me look at this other screen. I've still just got to adjust the layout a little bit. Like, see, that shouldn't look like that, but that's the only way I'm going to be able to see it. Oh, let me try this. Like, see, that's way off. Like, this whole thing is off. Like, see how my background don't go all the way to the top of the screen? It's hard to adjust it with this light in my face. Now I'm moving. I need to be on image. Hold on, guys. Ain't that image. This image. Ain't that image. Right now I'm on it. Oh, that moved me again. Which ain't supposed to be happening. Alright, now that wasn't supposed to do that. There we go. That looks better. I still need to do some adjusting to my stuff, but That's better than it was. Alright, y'all want to watch a video? Let me see. We'll watch old Jason. See what he's doing. Let's see. Hey, there's that dude.
Jason Christopher, and I am going to play this song for today. This is going to be our Sunday song because it's fucking dope.
Alright, I don't want to hear none.
I'm a kid. It's
I don't do drugs. I really don't. Which is amazing, which I should. I should be the guy who, like, fucked up. I should. That would be me. Because under the circumstances, it's amazing that I'm not doing drugs. It's amazing. I don't know what my problem is. I don't think it would be a good mix for me. I know I've had some of you say, hey,
cold
have you
pizza
ever
does
tried,
suck.
you know.
I don't know. I like it sometimes.
But, I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think I need that experience. I really don't. I could only imagine. I think I would never come back. I'd be gone.
Talk about the Mandela effect without talking about some heavy science here. So what is actually causing this?
I mean, the organization reported.
That's another thing, guys, I did. I've added more channels, too. So I can switch through videos, like, quicker. Like, so when I come in, I have a video playing, and then I always got to go look for another video. So now I can line up a bunch of videos, and then I can jump through the channels on them. So I'm just, bam. You know what I'm saying? I can switch through them. Same thing far as the layout. So it's coming along. I've been working on it for a little while tonight. I took a little nap. You know, relaxed. Sometimes you need that. So yeah. There's a lot of cool people, man. I've been watching a lot of cool videos lately on YouTube. So I'm just trying to get my stuff to look really cool. I don't really like that black and white look though, because I like all the crazy colors. I'm a colorful person. And I am, like, the videos are going to start coming more as videos too. I mean, I'm still going to do my live show with y'all guys every night. And I'll probably make it a little more friendlier looking, like the backdrops and stuff. It's going to change. But as far as videos, I'm going to start killing some videos on Jams TV. So there's going to be a lot of them coming. It'll be like video. So once I got everything set up to run smooth, I'm going to do kind of like, you know, like I said, I'm going to do my MMA stuff. I'm going to do the Mandela effects, world phenomenon, and some celebrity stuff, celebrity gossip. Go TMZ. Okay, your views are going up on your video, Tina. Okay. Did you put your videos back up? Y'all are up early. Let's see. Let's see.
Come on, baby girl. 1, 2, 3. Get your honey out. What are you doing? Come on. I don't hear the crayon.
Is that the only one you got up? Just that one?
At the very center of the Mandela effect is CERN.
Wait, CERN? Like, you talking about The organization responsible for the Large Hadron Collider? You mean the organization that basically rams particles together at like lightning fast speeds to track the results?
So this is taken directly from CERN's website. Another way of revealing extra dimensions would be through the production of microscopic black holes. What exactly we would detect would depend on the number of extra dimensions, the mass of the black hole, the size of the dimensions, and the energy at which the black hole occurs. If micro black holes do appear in the collisions created by the LHC, they would disintegrate rapidly. They would decay into standard model or supersymmetric particles, creating events. So this is like really, really vague, right?
But wait, but they just said creating events, right? This is kind of weird, but it reminds me of that movie Event Horizon. By definition, though, an event horizon is a black hole, right?
In layman's terms, it is the point of no return.
You heard that? They said they would disintegrate and cause events. The Mandela effect, man. It's real as can be. See, I'm not crazy. I knew it. This whole time I was sitting here thinking I was crazy, but now I know I'm not crazy.
Where the gravitational pull becomes so great as to make escape impossible, even for light. And this would include anything and everything, even time.
Okay, so why would anyone study this on Earth?
This is the big question.
Wouldn't you be worried that creating a little black hole, it might just keep eating everything until it destroys the, like, everything?
So this is exactly
what
I
my
want
favorite
to know.
background.
Most
I like
of the
the clock.
scientists out there also want to know, including Stephen Hawking. And he has been asking the same question. He even said the God particle found by CERN
I'll have to check him out.
could destroy the universe. I mean, this is Stephen Hawking saying this,
Right.
right? They're like doing this on Earth. What effects could this possibly have? I mean, who knows?
Yeah, and that particle is also known as the Higgs boson. They call it the God particle because they think it is like the original matter. Sum it up, I'm thinking antimatter or like black hole.
Exactly. What is really antimatter?
Well, and funnier than that, if you go to where CERN is on Google Maps, it says antimatter factory.
This is crazy.
So 1 milligram of antimatter is equivalent to 1,000 atomic bombs.
Yeah.
And so I heard that 1 grain of rice-size antimatter is equivalent to 30,000 Hiroshima bombs.
If you had this stuff the size of like a baseball, dude, I mean, this thing could potentially wipe out half the solar system. What the hell are they doing on Earth, you know? It's like, that's the crazy thing.
The best part is Ben yesterday was telling me, he's like, dude, they're trying to move antimatter in a van.
Still can't get over
That's
it.
substance.
Here's the article right here
Yeah.
about it. Some conspiracies say that CERN's whole purpose was to open a portal to another dimension. From CERN's point,
I'm doing really good, guys. Like I said, I took a nap, so I feel good. I'm pretty relaxed. I was just working on the channel, you know, thinking of new things for the show, for, you know, when we get it back to Jams TV. and, you know, like, my channel took a pretty good blow. You know, once you get out of that rhythm of making videos and posting videos every day, YouTube don't promote them as hard. But, like, when I was going every day on Jams TV, I was getting more views. So my plan is just, you know, to go back to video every day, couple videos a day on Jams TV. Might not be, you know, the most well thought out thing, because I got to come up with a couple of them a day to keep it, to get back in that rhythm, YouTube's rhythm. And then so yeah, I just want to, you know, I'm just making stuff look better. I don't know. Some people, I don't know, don't take the videos so seriously because of all the toys and stuff, I think. They're like, look at this grown-ass man with all these toys. So some of them I'm going to keep our hangouts. Probably be me and my toys. And then my videos will be kind of serious, I guess. All my serious videos. And then some videos I'm going to have that are just stupid. I don't know. I'm just still playing with everything.
point of view, they're trying to understand our universe and the Big Bang and everything else and how, what created.
The video today is at like 200 hits. To me, that ain't a lot of hits. That's pretty low. Like, our chats were getting that many on the other channel. It was getting like 250, averaging like 250 or something like that in a day. on just our chats. So that video should have done a lot better. And when we were doing the chats and my view time was way up, it would have done a lot better. But without the chat there and the view time being so high, it ain't going to do as good. But everybody that went and liked it and is leaving comments, thank you guys so much. It does help. So, and that's what YouTube looks for, is engagement, people leaving comments, creators commenting back, you know, and shares, people sharing the video and stuff like that. The more people that share it, the higher it goes up in the ranks in YouTube, and it makes it where more people see my stuff. People were seeing my stuff on the other channel, of course, because, you know, we had all that view time from the live chat, but the live chat ain't been up for weeks now. And you can look at the my stats. They're dropping like the stock market. But I ain't worried about that. I'm gonna fix all that. You know, once you hit the bottom, there ain't nowhere to go but up, right? So yeah, I'll build all that back up in just a matter of time. Just a little bit of time it'll take. I could come out with a bunch of clickbait shit, right, and kill it. But I've been trying not to do that to get my stats back up. I could always make a Jim Carrey video, a Will Smith video, a Kardashian video. That's probably what I'm going to hit you with next, is a Kardashian video. Everybody loves a Kardashian. 1 million people watch it just because the name is in it, right? So I might have to do that just to get my stats back up. That's a little dirty, but hey, sometimes you got to take the gloves off when your stats are bad.
Life, basically, right?
Right.
But some say they're actually opening a portal to hell.
Okay, so this just got kind of a little weird, and for scientifically minded people, they're probably like, who are these two knuckleheads? How do we know that's actually true? Like, what's selling us on this?
So CERN's mascot is a Hindu goddess called Shiva, who is also the goddess of destruction. There's a big fat statue of her right outside of their office. I mean, come on, destruction?
So,
this is crazy.
So along with that, CERN's logo is causing many groups to throw their hands in the air, and not the type that's waving them like they just don't care. When I looked at this logo, I'm a brand manager, CERN's logo looks mysteriously like 666, and 666 specifically in chaos. I couldn't find who the original maker of the logo was, but there is a website, it looks like it's dedicated to science, called Two Mosquitoes, and the way that they explained the logo was that they tried to model it actually after one of the accelerators. The thing is if you look at that accelerator, they were worried about making it look exactly like the accelerator because that would make it look like a black hole too much, and they thought that that would be not good. Whoa. But would you rather have it look like a black hole or 666?
Okay, so I'll try to explain the theory on how the timelines are being disrupted by all of this. So even Stephen Hawking said that this could cause space and time to collapse, which is actually what we could be seeing with the...
I know every chick watches the Kardashians, and that's why I'm gonna make a Kardashians video. I'm gonna have to talk bad about them or something. So it's like it's a clickbait video, guys. You know, you're gonna get some clickbait videos when my stats are bad. Either that, or I'm gonna have to make some crazy ass Jim Carrey video that gets another 1 million hits. So, but nah, I'm gonna hit y'all with some Kardashian stuff because I think that's just super clickbait. But all my people know that's clickbait, so y'all, that's for other people. That's for the numbers.
Mandela effect, collapsing timelines and other parallel dimensions, which is why some people remember the old timeline and some people have the memory of the new timeline. There's a Harvard University theorist named Lisa Randall who actually talks about other dimensions that may exist close to our own familiar reality.
Can you speak English? Because I'm a designer, not an astrophysicist.
All right, hold on, guys. Let me check out something. Still looking at some of these screens. Looks like I have a crazy looking overlay going on here. All right, there's that one. Now I can pull the stream up and see it. I guess it looks alright. I look a little fuzzy and a little red. I think that might be in the contrast, though. Alright, let me shrink this.
What the heck does that even mean, dude?
Okay. So in a nutshell, she is saying that in another space-time, there exists right here, right now, another dimension, but we just can't see it. When there is a shift in gravity, it's a possibility that a rift in our time-space would open up and you would be able to see into a different time-space.
Right.
So this is exactly what CERN is trying to do. They're trying to create rifts in time-space to send particles from this dimension into another dimension and vice versa, which could cause crazy repercussions in our own timeline. Well, I think this is the cause of the Mandela effect, and I think the Mona Lisa is a really good example of how things could be affected. Do you want to talk a little bit about the Mona Lisa?
Yeah, so this will be in our other episode too, but the Mona Lisa, basically, growing up, I mean, I was fascinated just like everyone else. I was a painter, I went to art school for illustration. There was such a huge discussion in the past over whether she's smiling or not. And so people would go to look at the Mona Lisa for hours until they could finally see her smiling, but now...
I love The Walking Dead. That is my favorite show. I watched it tonight, but my cable ain't hooked up, so I was live streaming it. And it was just buffing the whole damn time. So now I really need to go back and watch it again. But I have never missed one episode of The Walking Dead. I've seen every single one. It's like my shit.
When you go and you look at the Mona Lisa, there's nothing to debate anymore. That debate has totally been wiped off the face of the planet. No one's talking about what she's doing. They're still fascinated with the painting, but that discussion on that smirk or that smile or that neutral look that she had is no longer a thing.
Yeah, she's just
smiling.
She's just smiling.
Yeah, and this is really weird because that was such a huge discussion when I was young.
You are missing out on life if you've never watched The Walking Dead. It is the best TV show ever in the human existence of TV. The Walking Dead is the shit.
And it's like almost over time, all of a sudden it just like, whoop, switched and she's smiling now. So what we think the cause of the Mandela effect is that CERN is actually playing a lot with this up. Some people think it's converging timelines in these.
Do people really watch reaction videos to The Walking Dead? I could make me a reaction video to The Walking Dead. Damn! Damn! Be that the whole time.
Different dimensions. What happens when you start playing with that? Okay, so Ben, there's gonna be a lot of people that are like, well, you guys didn't research this enough. How do you know? Why do you think that they're, you know?
Tina from Georgia, they shoot The Walking Dead in Georgia, and she ain't a fan of The Walking Dead. That is terrible.
Blah, 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 worshiping these things of destruction. I mean, what do you think? Like, I've read some articles where scientists are basically trying to make fun of people that are really concerned about this, but you and I both read that like even Tyson and Hawking are really worried about what they're doing there. Is this really irresponsible?
So again, you guys are probably thinking, you know, you guys are not scientists. No, I think to understand science, you have to have a broader mind. You have to use tools available to you that may be more metaphysical in nature, right?
Why are we always trying to study destruction?
Right, that's the other thing too. Other scientists are also coming out really explaining their concern. It's like, you guys just went ahead and do this. You didn't take a vote of the international community of the world and say, hey, is it okay if we build a facility and study black holes? It's like,
and who's talking about the dangers that this could potentially bring to our environment? Never mind the talks of whether they're actually trying to open a gate or not. I mean,
and I think the other thing too is that, I mean, here's these guys trying to figure out what the original source of matter is, and they're blowing up. They have to blow up each layer by layer of like these particle dimensions, I guess you could say, until they figure out what the most microscopic source of matter is, and that's what.
Yeah, I hate TV. I never watch TV, news, nothing, hardly ever. But I do not miss an episode of The Walking Dead. It's like a movie to me that never ends. It's like a never-ending movie that's really good.
They're trying to do, which is in essence creating a black hole. And what we know of black holes is very dangerous.
It's very limited.
Yeah.
And I can tell you this, I didn't like The Walking Dead at first. Like, I had seen a couple episodes of it, like, you know, just randomly caught it. And I was like, I do not know what all the hype is about. This is the stupidest damn show on the planet, right? I swear, guys, that's when I first seen it. That's what I thought. I was like, man, it's so stupid. And somehow or another, it snowed or something one time, and somebody wanted to watch it that was here, and I was like, man, I seen it a couple times. I ain't really big on it, but I started watching it from the first, you know, because then they had it like, you know, the seasons out where you could watch it in a row, like not on TV, just like Netflix, and you could just, right? And then I started watching it, and I got so hooked. It is the best show ever. It's ever. And if, like, they're on season like 7 now or something. But if you haven't watched it and you go back and start at season 1, you have so much stuff to watch, and I'm telling you, it's worth like every minute of it. It gets so good. Like, it's a little rough around the edges in the beginning, but to where they're at now and how they built the characters, it's like the best show ever. You can't mess with The Walking Dead.
What opening that dimension, even if you're just playing around, what that could do, no one understands this enough, no matter how good you are at math or science or whatever, to know what the repercussions are of opening a black hole.
The only thing about that, if I live stream The Walking Dead, they will shut my YouTube channel slam down. I know they will. I probably could do something like that, mask it with something, and but the only problem with that is my cable box is broke. I got cable, but my cable box is messed up. So I've been live streaming it to my computer, watching it myself, you know, like an AMC stream, and it buffs every couple seconds. Reggie comes over to watch it, and me and Reggie was sitting here earlier, like, looking at each other like, man, this thing buffs one more time. And I got the fastest internet you can get where I'm at, and it's still, because my upload speeds are like 30 times what the average house is. So I can stream out 30 times faster than the average house with average internet. So, and I got fast internet, and it was still buffing like crazy, and I can't take it. So I gotta call the cable company, well, DirecTV, and tell them to send me another card for my box, because for some reason it's not reading my card, and so I can watch The Walking Dead. That's the only thing I watch on it. That's the only reason I got it.
What could it do to these timelines?
And, I mean, I think we as like the human race should really be concerned. And, you know, we're protesting.
Here's the thing. All right, Heather, the girl, I forget what, the fat girl, the bigger girl, that the gay one that her lover got killed or whatever, you know who I'm talking about? I think she got shot in the back with an arrow or some shit tonight. But my thing kept buffing, so I don't quite know. And I know in the end they walked in and said people were turning, and they were looking at her like she was going to turn into a zombie. But they were getting hit with bullets that had zombie blood on it. And she got hit with an arrow that didn't have no zombie blood on it. I don't know. Can you enlighten me on that? Did you catch that? Denise was already dead. Is Denise the big girl? You don't get into zombies and vampires. The show really don't have nothing to do with zombies, Tina. The show is basically how people would survive in a zombie apocalypse. It's more about survival and what you would do to live more than about zombies. In the beginning, it was kind of about zombies. Now it's more about society and how society would try to rebuild itself if there was the fall of society. What would happen? Like, how would you rebuild the world? And it's kind of on that level now of them trying to rebuild and come back from a zombie apocalypse. Yeah, I'm watching it on the internet, and it's buffing. But like if once that's because I'm watching it live, and it's streaming it, and it's doing terrible because I'm getting it on bootleg sites. So yeah, I watched it, but I didn't. Like I said, it was cutting off every 10 seconds, and I was like, and I was missing. It'd run for 10 seconds and cut off for 5 seconds. So every 5 seconds, every 10 seconds, I would miss 5 seconds. It would just freeze. And then when they come, it would be something cool too. They were saying, like, they would go to say something cool, and my shit would just stop. And then after they said it, it'd start right back up. You'd be like, man, I just missed what they said. You know what I'm saying? And I don't, Netflix. This is the big girl that kept track of the supplies. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. She got shot because she was behind the car shooting a machine gun. And Negan's boy was coming up, and he was going to sneak up on her. But then, you know, the other guy that stole Daryl's crossbow, right? He shot at her, and I think he hit her with an arrow to make sure she didn't get shot. I'm not talking about the one that got shot in the eye or whatever in the on the railroad tracks. I'm talking about her. I think it's her lover. That girl tonight. It was in the show tonight. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm a super big Walking Dead fan. That's my show.
So much about all these things, but this is the one thing that I feel like is the most dangerous part. But we're not protesting this because we feel like we don't know enough about it. And you know, if the scientists say it's okay, then it must be okay.
Yeah, and scientists are human. We didn't just kind of throw CERN under the bus here. There was a lot of research that went behind why we're pointing at CERN related to the Mandela effect. It goes into a lot of things that people are talking about, different infographics that have been posted in the underground, so to speak. There's a lot of reasons why we're talking about this right now. We really want to know what you think, so please.
Yeah, I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about the other girl then. The one she was messing with. I'll think of her name in a second. She also was gonna last week she ran the dude down, and they were in the woods, and she wanted to kill the dude, and I just can't think of her damn name. I'll think of it in a second.
Please like and subscribe and follow us, and watch our other episode on the Mandela effect examples.
Also, guys, is there any other topics you would like us to cover?
Wait, we're starting? Isn't Ben supposed to be here?
Could you imagine being at one place and all of a sudden finding yourself 3,000 miles away with no memory of how you got there?
That sounds like a great idea for a new reality TV show, but where in the world did you just come from?
Well, Rob, that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. Unexplained time slips.
Ooh, time slips.
So Ben, talking about time slips and teleportation, is it possible to send the Kardashians away for good? Add Kanye in there as well.
That sounds like a great plan. I just hope that they don't go from LA to New York, because we have enough crazy people in New York to deal with.
True that.
Okay, getting back to our story. Welcome to Edge of Wonder. I'm your host, Ben.
Hey, and I'm Rob, and by now, everyone's probably heard the news about the white-faced mountain skier. So this guy, Konstantinos Danny Philippidis, a 49-year-old firefighter in Canada, completely disappeared while he was with friends on a ski trip in New York. And get this, he was found less than a week later, but 2,900 miles away in Sacramento on another ski mountain. When he was found, Danny was disoriented and confused and unable to provide any reasons for how he even got to California.
So Danny was found wearing the same ski gear he was in before he disappeared, including his helmet, goggles, and had no form of identification. Like, that's the crazy part. And
so this means he probably wasn't, like, definitely wasn't able to fly through a normal airport to get to Sacramento.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. He couldn't fly at all.
So needless to say, officials in New York are just as confused as Danny seemed to be when they found him, and actually really upset because they spent like 7,000 man-hours of like volunteers, canines, trying to find him in New York on that mountain.
When Danny first appeared, the original reports all said that he was found on a mountain in Sacramento. However, according to the most recent reports, he was found in the Sacramento airport and told police he traveled there in a big rig truck and slept a lot. So, does that mean he hitchhiked? But is this the truth, or is this a government cover-up?
And until now, the state police hasn't commented on whether Danny is going to face criminal charges or not, especially if this was some kind of ploy. So Ben, why is this significant, and what are these disappearing acts called?
So by now, the secret military is probably already involved in this, like the Men in Black, and we may soon see something technical like transient global amnesia. And the world will assume the guy had a temporary mental disorder or something like that. When I was looking it up, I was completely shocked that this term even existed.
Right.
So, did you know that this isn't the first example of something like this? In fact, there are many examples of these so-called time slips occurrences.
Wait, isn't this is like teleportation though, not time slip, right?
Well, Rob, I have stories like that as well. But in these cases, minutes, hours, days will go by for the person it happened to, but in reality, only seconds pass by.
It's interesting. So it might have just been an instant to them, but it seemed like days to others.
Right.
And there are actual occurrences like this.
Well, actually, I'm going to share one of those stories with you, too.
Before you go on, I'm not going any further through one of your detailed stories without getting some coffee.
Ha! Anyway, for the mainstream media and normal society, these terms are not even in their vocabulary, so of course they'll immediately think that this is some prank or the guy is delusional. But for those of us into the paranormal, we of course know that these stories are all found throughout history.
Dude, I got your coffee.
Dude, scared me.
I can say, Ben, after researching all of this stuff for sure that I'm definitely not a normal person.
Great, thanks,
Get
Rob.
my
That
Mr.
was a
Miyagi
little
hands out.
Unexpected. I don't think I was ever normal too, even as a child. Did you know I went to the massage school a few years ago?
Wait, massage?
Yeah.
I did not know that about you, but I can totally picture you in one of those like white polos, the white pants, and that white towel.
Well, I do like to remain a little mysterious. So a guy I went to massage school with told me a story about one of his friends, that there was a woman who went to go visit her son in Seattle.
Right.
She's from Chicago.
Okay.
So she's in Seattle visiting her son. She comes back to Chicago after her visit.
Sure.
She sat down on the couch, closed her eyes, and started really thinking about her son and wished that she could be back in Seattle with him. So
I think I know where this is going.
So she closed her eyes and was just thinking about this, and then all of a sudden she opened her eyes and she was back in Seattle in her son's living room. She had no idea how she got there.
I mean, did the son see her?
So the son came in completely shocked. Like, you know, he was just like, Mom, how did you get here? And she couldn't explain it. Like, she's like, I don't know, you know?
That is wild.
So they couldn't figure it out, like how she got here, like what to do. So the only thing they could do was buy another plane ticket. And so she flew back from Seattle to Chicago, and that was how she got home.
A pretty pricey display.
That's pretty trippy. Let's see. Let me look at these screens again. I am going to do some adjusting later. That should be just me. See, I'm not totally not digging that. Like, it's like... I don't know if I need more light or what. I look a little faded. Wow, that image, my background on this one looks kind of crazy. It looks like I'm in a black hole or something. To me, you and your chair look the same. Okay, yeah, we are the same. It's the same me, and it's the same chair. Just without the skulls. I don't have the skulls on the corners of the chair. I might need to put them back. That was kind of patent. I kind of miss my skulls. It kind of made my chair look like a throne, and I kind of like that. Or maybe I'm just gonna go out and buy me like a king's throne. Like, how many other YouTubers up here has a king's throne? I'm gonna give me a couple lines, and like, who could mess with that? Get me a crown. What do you think? You're blending it together. What, the images? What am I blending together? See, I can see my scenes here, like the way I'm doing it like this. I can see what I look like on this screen over here. Let me blow it up. I'm going to get it better than that. When I'm done, it'll look a lot clearer. Like, I just got to do the settings on my camera, because this camera's a lot nicer than that other camera I had. And I'm sure it'll all work out once I get it going. But at least my backgrounds will be like about what I'm talking about and stuff like that. So that'll be alright.
Way of supernormal abilities, jeez.
Yeah, it's a pretty crazy story.
I clearly had no idea where this story was going. Okay, so why don't you tell me some of these other stories?
Okay,
let's go.
so here's another one about teleportation, which I thought also kind of ties into the time slip that we're talking about. So in the 1970s, a now defunct national airline 727 passenger plane vanished as it pulled in for landing at the Miami International Airport. The Desert News printed an article which said that the plane reportedly disappeared and then reappeared 10 minutes later. An air traffic control operator even said to the pilot,
Well, I'm wearing a brown jacket and a brown chair. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I blend into the chair. I don't know. Yeah, you're right. Maybe I should put on something different. Well, you'll see it better when I'm not wearing this brown jacket. I just don't have a shirt on under this jacket. I just threw the jacket on because I was laying around. And I had a green shirt on. So you can't wear green when you're green screening stuff because it'll be on me then. So yeah, this is a test. It's just a test.
Man, for 10 minutes, you just did not exist. So it happened in the mid-70s. Emergency crews were quickly called in with the assumption that the plane had somehow gone off course or perhaps crashed near the airport. As they gathered on the runway where the plane was last seen, it suddenly reappeared in the precise location it had vanished and proceeded to land as if everything was normal.
So, like, what was it like for the people on the plane?
Well, according to them, those 10 minutes never even passed.
Wait, so they just looked out on the runway as the plane was coming in and like all of a sudden, boop, like all of these like emergency vehicles pop up while they're landing?
Yes, exactly. They were coming in, and all of a sudden to them it was just like, oh my gosh, where did these emergency vehicles come from? You know,
that's
out of
crazy.
nowhere. So of course the people on the plane were just as shocked as the people on the ground, because they were like, you know, what is going on? The whole event was investigated by Martin Caton, who died in 1997. But he was an aviation and aeronautics expert.
So this guy was pretty legit, the guy.
Yeah, he was totally legit.
So did NASA send this guy out, or?
Well, actually, the Epoch Times have a whole article about it, and they interviewed Lloyd Arbach, who was a close friend of Caton. They told Epoch Times that the men in suits quickly filed onto the runway, boarded the plane, and took control of the situation. These kind of situations, if it really, really did happen, instantly the military wants to take control of these situations, right? They're not wanting to let these kind of things go out.
It kind of you reminded me of something. Didn't you tell me a story about like a World War II pilot that had a similar kind of experience?
Oh yeah. So this is actually one of my favorite stories
really?
about the time slip. In 1935, before World War II began, a British pilot by the name of Sir Victor Goddard entered the future.
Sir Victor Goddard. So this dude was knighted.
He was knighted.
So we should believe him then, I guess. Because like, why would a knight ever not tell the truth?
And also, he became a military commander too. So he was flying over from Edinburgh to Andover, England.
Yeah, right.
And as he was flying, he passed over an abandoned airfield in Drim, Scotland. A few days later, he was flying back from Andover.
Look, I've heard this story. This guy flies back and he sees like World War II bombers on a runway. He flies back in time. I've heard this story.
to Edinburgh.
Right.
As he was flying, he entered a horrible thunderstorm. He started to lose control of his plane and became disoriented. He remembered the abandoned airfield and decided to land there and wait till the storm cleared.
I heard that these clouds were yellow, that they were
were
weirdly
actually
tinged and stuff, so it wasn't like a normal thunderstorm.
He wrote that they were a very weird yellowish color that he's never seen before. So as soon as he saw the abandoned airport, all of a sudden it was sunny, cloudless, and it was like he just entered another world. Then, below him, he saw a complete unexpected view. There were a lot of yellow planes and many people were on the ground getting the planes ready. He landed his plane and noticed that the control tower never even contacted him. He also noticed that the mechanics were wearing blue uniforms instead of the standard brown ones. And again, not a single person acknowledged him.
So it was like he didn't exist.
It was almost like he didn't exist.
So he was like in another dimension or like time space or something?
Time space, like maybe. So after a while, he decided to leave. So he flew up, and when he reached the same position as before, he suddenly found himself in the thunderstorm again.
What?
So he got back to the base, he gave a report to his superiors and wrote down all the details of this really strange experience. However, they were skeptical and of course didn't believe him. He then decided he should be keeping the story to himself. So everyone's probably wondering then how has the story gotten out if he was trying to keep it to himself, right? So here's the real kicker. So 4 years later, World War II started, right?
Yeah.
Full out war. So he was transferred to that same abandoned airport in Durham, Scotland. But this time it wasn't abandoned anymore, right? So he got there and realized it was the same scene that he saw. There was yellow planes, everyone was running around wearing blue uniforms.
This is like real deja vu then. Like, you know how deja vu you feel like you've experienced something? This dude actually did experience?
Yeah. So in a weird way, it was almost like he fast forward 4 years and saw what was going to happen in the future and then
I guess
came back out. But after he experienced this, he was just like, this is too crazy, right? And he started doing a lot of his own investigation. He ended up writing a book called...
No, I'm getting off here in a few minutes because I'm going to start working on a video here in a little bit. I don't know, something crazy Mandela-ish. My Mandela video. Kim Kardashian's ass has caused a ripple in time that has caused the Mandela effect. And we're experiencing all these logo changes because of Kim Kardashian's booty. It's my new video. Coming to a theater near you.
Flight towards reality, and after retirement became a UFO expert and started investigating and actually giving speeches about this topic at different events and whatnot.
Can look Sir Victor Goddard up and
how many hits you think that video is going to do? I'm just going to title it Mandela Effect, Kim Kardashian. And then when I start talking, I'm going to start talking about her butt, saying it caused a ripple through time and space and has created the Mandela Effect. I mean, it's just a theory.
I'm going to find information out there about this, right?
Definitely.
Okay, so back to our initial story of the guy that disappeared on the mountain.
Right.
I mean, we've been thinking about this, and here's what doesn't make sense.
I like hate mail. That just means it's mail. I ain't been getting a whole lot of hate, so not lately. So maybe I need some hate. I need some haters. Haters are good for views.
Right? So this guy, Danny, disappears in New York and then reappears 6 days later. He doesn't have his identification. I mean, like, how in the world did he get over there? I mean, think about it. Like, he didn't have any ID or anything like that. Probably didn't have a lot of money on him, and he was totally disoriented.
Right, yeah.
So how would he have done that? I mean, how would he have actually pulled that off?
I have no idea.
I mean,
that's the crazy part.
Yes, I am.
So what do you guys think of these time slip or teleportation cases? What do you think actually happens when you disappear and reappear at another place or in the future?
Also, do you guys have any stories that you...
I call that I got drunk and I woke up and I was somewhere else. I don't know if that's a time slip. I think that's called a blackout.
want to share about this topic? Definitely let us know in the comments.
Also, don't forget to like us and subscribe.
I had a time slip the other day. I was sitting here talking with you guys, and about 4 hours later, I woke up on the bathroom floor. I think I was abducted by aliens. I'm not sure.
Subscribe for more videos. Can't emphasize that enough.
On unexplained phenomena, life, and our wondrous universe.
See you guys out on the edge.
Huh?
That's what I'm going to start doing, disappearing.
Again.
Huh? What?
Y'all want to see me disappear? Watch this.
Cool. Oh, I just got it everywhere.
I'm gonna do some of their TV magic. Let's see.
Have you ever wished?
Let's
you
see if
could
I
go
can
back in
disappear.
time and maybe change something about your past? Maybe you wish you would have married your first love, or maybe you wish you didn't.
Damn, I'm back.
Or you could go back in time and actually see how the pyramids were built. Today we're going to be exploring one of my favorite topics: time travel.
Let's see if I can show up in South Carolina. Didn't work. Damn it.
Welcome to Edge of Wonder. I'm your host, Ben Chasteen, and joining me today is my friend Rob
My
Counts,
snapper must be
who is
broke.
also a time travel enthusiast.
Hey guys. Basically, my views on time travel or any of this kind of things is we should be open to things. It's not that I want to like readily believe any information that's just put in front of me, but I think people a lot of times just like totally don't pay attention to all kinds of things that could actually be happening. I tend to keep a little bit more open about those things, but at the same time, like I'm cautious about accepting anything. You know, I mean, you can't just like believe something someone tells you. You know?
Right. You know, growing up, one of my favorite movies was, well, aside from Star Wars, was Back to the Future. I just really loved that movie.
Is it time travel?
Because of the time travel.
I was pretty much a Groundhog Day guy.
Groundhog Day was really good too, though. I really liked that.
was my
And
favorite.
actually, most recently, I really liked Interstellar. I thought that was a really great movie.
And what about Edge of Tomorrow?
And Edge of-
They kind of stole our name there. Yeah.
Actually, you were telling me about a story that I didn't know about previously.
I found this really interesting article about this guy who disappeared in like I think it was like the 1800s sometimes, right? And he reappears in Times Square like 50 years later. And as soon as he arrives in Times Square, he gets hit by a car. Police find him. He's dressed like he belongs like 100 years earlier or 50 years earlier, whatever. And they do some research and they find out that this guy actually existed back then. And he was going for a walk one night, disappears, and he ends up in Times Square randomly, and everyone's just totally like, no one can figure any of that stuff out.
Well, like there's the hipster time traveler. You know, have you seen that photo?
Yeah, that's a weird one, right?
Right, so the photo is a legit photo. I mean, it hasn't been photoshopped or edited in any way or shape or form. Like, the guy's camera is actually a Kodak 6 that is actually from that time period.
Right.
Same thing with his glasses. I saw him walking down the street today. Even with that camera, you wouldn't even think anything of it.
Yeah, it was how he was dressed, but if you look at every single other person in that photo, everyone's like dressed really nice, like how they used to back then.
Tie and hat and everything.
Yeah, and then that only him, and he's got like a graphic tee. I mean, anything's possible.
Anything's possible, who knows? But I want to kind of talk about something more interesting that I found lately, which is a guy by the name of Andrew Basiago, supposedly a time traveler who's photographed during the Abraham Lincoln Gettysburg Address.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Have you
That's
heard about
me.
this?
No.
Okay, because with you being like really into time
Hold
travel,
on, guys.
Like, wow, Rob's gonna really freak out about this one.
And by into time travel, he means I've watched Time Cop a lot.
So, okay, going back to this photo, this guy's name Andrew Basiago. Supposedly, he was part of a U.S. government experiment called Project Pegasus, where he was involved in time travel. I mean, his father was part of this program, traveling back in time and whatnot. So his father goes back in time to the Abraham Lincoln days. He sees his son there. So he knew that his son was going to be part of the program. So he comes back to the present, invites his son, Andrew. I think at the time he was like 10 years old or something, right?
Interesting.
Now, this kind of goes along with what happened at the Montauk Project. They were also doing experiments as well, supposedly on kids. Well, you know Stranger Things, right?
Oh, yeah.
Of course, everyone knows Stranger Things. Well, did you know the original title was going to be called Montauk Project?
No.
Yeah, that was the original title of the show, but then they decided to change it. And
that would have changed things massively.
But that's actually supposedly what Stranger Things is based out of, as the stuff that happened in the Montauk Project. But getting back to Andrew's story, his father starts taking him and they start traveling in time. Then he goes back to the Gettysburg Address with Abraham Lincoln, and he says that after Lincoln gave his speech, then he starts walking forward, and that's who you see in the photo, in the very front of the photo.
So you actually see Abraham in the back?
In the back, yeah. Wow. You can actually see Abraham in the back. And then in the center of the photo, you see it looks like a little boy.
Yeah, I think the most interesting thing about that photo is that his shoes really actually do look bigger.
Yeah, they actually do. Because he said when he jumped back and passed, his shoes for some reason didn't come with them, and so he had to borrow someone's shoes.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
You talked about the Montauk project.
I'm digging
a
this
couple minutes ago,
teleportation
right? Wasn't
thing.
Tesla and like
Wow.
Einstein and stuff connected to this? What,
Time
what
travel's
happened?
awesome.
So supposedly Tesla actually created time machine.
Really?
This is the actual thing. So it gets even crazier. JP Morgan was originally funding Tesla, and he was doing stuff with Edison as well. So Tesla wanted to give this away for free. He didn't want to make money off of it. He felt like this.
I've been working on my teleportation machine for a while now, guys. And one time I jumped like that and I came back halfway as a penguin. I don't know why, but then I had to jump again and then I jumped back and I was back myself. But like I was walking around like a little penguin. It was weird. You got to watch that time jumping like that. Because I got the new D-Wave computer and stuff, guys. I got like quantum computing going on here.
This is given to mankind and that he wanted to give it out. JP Morgan and Edison had total opposite views. They were like, we want it for the money, right? So JP
What's up,
Morgan
Jar?
stopped funding Tesla, and then he just went strictly with Edison, and unfortunately Edison took a lot of Tesla's ideas. So Tesla needed money and needed help, and guess who he goes to? John G. Trump.
Wait, like Trump? Like President Trump?
Like
Trump?
President Donald
That's
Trump.
crazy.
So it was his uncle. I think it might have been a great uncle, but anyways. So then after Tesla dies,
Which was at the New Yorker,
yeah,
right?
it's right near
He
here,
like
actually.
died there.
So right after he died, Uncle Trump.
Let's call him Uncle Trump.
Uncle Trump.
That's good.
They go in with the FBI. The FBI confiscates everything. So then people are like, wait a minute, what happened? Blah, blah, blah. So supposedly they say they released all the papers. According to Andrew Basaggio, he says that the FBI kept a lot of the top secret about like time travel. There's stuff about teleportation, other
about
things
Jean-Claude
like
Van Damme. Sure. So didn't Tesla talk about like
I been knew how to teleport, guys. I be jumping around all the time. Like, you ever seen that movie Jumpers?
cell phones, video chat, and internet?
Yeah, actually, believe it or not, he actually has a quote.
Okay, so he said, when wireless is perfectly applied, the whole Earth will be converted into a huge brain, which in fact is, all things being particles of a real and rhythmic whole. We shall be able to communicate with one another instantly, irrespective of distance. Not only this, but through television and telephony, we shall see and hear one another as perfectly as though we were face to face, despite intervening distances of thousands of miles, and the instruments through which we shall be able to do this will be amazingly simple compared with our present telephone. A man will be able to carry one in his vest pocket. Dude just talked about iPhones.
Yeah,
That's
isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So he talks about iPhones, he talks about FaceTime, and he talks about the internet. So there's a theory out there that actually Tesla used this time machine to actually go into the future and actually saw the
so
future.
he saw that?
So supposedly he saw it. People
Nikola Tesla. I mean, man, this parallel dimension stuff is real. That's what I'm having such a hard time believing, that there is such thing as a real parallel universe. And there's another jimmyjamz.
are not going to want you to release this. The government's not going to want this
Well,
out.
now why, when you can make money off of it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
This gets pretty even more crazier. Hitler supposedly had a time
Oh,
machine.
come on. Why is Hitler attached to
Glocken.
everything? He's already in, like, almost every movie.
I know. Supposedly he had a time
The
machine
Iron
called
Bell.
the Glocke,
Oh, yeah?
meaning the bell. Right before
So you'll
World
be
War
knowing
II,
my
when
German.
things were escalating, but there was a crash, which they thought there was the Allied forces. Supposedly they found the UFO.
Oh, so basically all this technology came from this UFO.
That is the theory, and supposedly that's how they were able to develop more technology than the West. It's like, you know, they developed first the U-boats, and then they had faster planes. There's actual photos of UFOs with Nazi symbols on them.
Of course they put a Nazi symbol
I don't know
on
if
it.
it's like real, you know, who knows.
So, okay, so let's say you went back in time, Ben, and you were like, I don't like Rob. I wanna wipe Rob off the face of the earth, and you kill my grandfather. What's gonna happen to me?
I can answer this. It's a very common thing. The grandfather
Country bumpkin.
paradox. So I think I kind of figured this out. Let's say that this is our timeline, right? We're living on this timeline right here. And 2018. Let's use the analogy like, you know, you wish you would have married this girl back in 2006. So let's say you go back in time, 2006. So now you have your old 2018 self, and then you have your younger self here.
Kind of skinny.
Kind of skinny. Obviously, you can't marry this girl from 2018. It's not going to work. So the only way you're going to do it is you have to convince yourself to marry this girl. So you end up getting married finally. You go back to 2018, present time. The thing is, nothing's going to change because it never happened on this timeline originally. So everything you do, it can't affect this timeline if it didn't already happen on that timeline.
So you mean you can't derail yourself off of a timeline?
Right. So even if they got married, what would end up happening is an alternate universe or alternate dimension would come in, and then they would be happily married, hopefully, on this alternate timeline, which you would have no connection with at all.
That sounds really
That sucks.
underwhelming.
So I think there's small things that could be changed. But like, for example, let's go back to kill Jean-Claude Van Damme so he doesn't have
That's stereotyping hillbillies. Some hillbillies have their teeth. Not all hillbillies are missing teeth.
to make the movie Time Cop, right?
Please do.
So we go back in time, but it's the same thing. Even if you're dumb and you decide to kill his grandfather, it's just going to create an alternate dimension. You're going to be in jail,
That's right.
and in this dimension, you just go back here and...
JCVD still, drop kicking people.
Yeah.
Man, there's like so much information out there about time travel. This is crazy.
Yes, there's a whole lot.
I think like my next step is I'm gonna go home and watch Terminator 1 and 2, but none of the others because they're horrible.
I agree with you. So what do you guys think of today's episode on time travel? Do you believe Andrew Basagio's story? What about Project Pegasus? Or Tesla's theory? Or how about Hitler's Der Glock? Comment below. Also, do you have any stories or experiences you would like to share? Or maybe there's a specific topic that you would like me to cover. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more. Do you believe life exists in other planets? Do you know somebody who was abducted by aliens? Have you ever seen a real floating city in the skies? What about other dimensions? Do they exist or are they just illusions? Even Stephen Hawking has his opinion about aliens. All right, ready to start? Welcome to the Edge of Wonder. I'm your host, Ben Chasteen, and the master of your attention for the next 10 to 12 minutes, depending on however long this video is going to be in the end. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about what I think are the most top 5 unexplained phenomena of 2017, starting with our number 5, a strange light phenomenon. Reddit user Machine Gamer posted these images, which he said they were taken by his boss in 1997. And then one day his boss just tells him, "Did I ever tell you my UFO story?" 20 or so years ago, I was driving in northern Michigan near Glen Harbor at 2:30 a.m. in the middle of nowhere, and all of a sudden my entire car lit up. He described this insane light and shrieking noise that hurt his ears. He said he got out and this craft was hovering over him for what seemed to be a very long time. He was afraid. Then he remembers he had his camera, so he took it out and said he took pictures. So what are these lights exactly? Did he see a real UFO? Well, some people said what he saw was
Hey, I'll be
actually
right back,
frozen
guys.
light
I gotta
pillars,
teleport to the
which
smoke
is a light
shop.
phenomenon that happens in very cold temperatures. So in some ways, this does seem like what he photographed in 1997. However, it doesn't explain the strange sound that he heard reportedly from the craft that he saw. Also, he didn't share this for over 20 years. And you'd think if he made it up, he would want to share this right from the beginning. But I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you think it was a real UFO that he saw? Let's go on to our topic number 4, which is interstellar object Wama Wama. So Stephen Hawking and Mark Zuckerberg, of all people, I guess if I had $1 billion, I'd love to do all kinds of space research. They came together and started this scientific think tank called Breakthrough Initiatives, which is searching for evidence of life on this mysterious object, Wama Wama, which is traveling at an alarming speed of 200,000 miles per hour. It's believed it's been traveling across interstellar space for millions of years. After many hours of scanning and analyzing data, what they thought was an asteroid, scientists now believe that it is a comet. However, there's one thing that some scientists are failing to recognize. This object came from the star Vega, which is the brightest star in the constellation Lyra and is about 25 light years away from our solar system. It also passed Earth about the distance of 80 times that away from the moon, which sounds kind of far when you think about it. What do you guys think? Is this just a coincidence, or do you think it was possibly sent here by someone? So coming in at number 3 is the Pentagon's top secret UFO program. So the US Defense Department created the secret unit called Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. I mean, say that 4 times fast. Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. And why can't they call these things something ordinary, like UFO investigation, whatever, something simple? Anyway, the point is, they spent $22 million on taxpayers' money, no less, to investigate and research reports of UFO activity, which they've already been doing for a few years. So the New York Times reported that Senator Harry Reid, the Nevada Democrat, was responsible for this secret program to be funded. Even his long-term friend and billionaire Robert Bigelow, who is actually currently with NASA, said in a 60-minute interview,
I'm absolutely convinced that's all there is to it.
Do you also believe that UFOs have come to Earth?
There has been and is an existing presence, an ET presence. And I spent millions and millions. I probably spent more as an individual than anybody else in the United States has ever spent on this subject.
In the video released by the US Air Force, we can see this craft confusing foul-mouthed F-18 pilots who at first believe it must be a drone. That is, until it starts rotating.
Wow.
But you
that
know,
was a
it
crazy
seems,
one.
ever since this report came out, talking about UFOs and aliens doesn't seem to be such a taboo topic as it once was in mainstream media. Which brings us to our number 2 topic. Bettina Rodriguez Aguilera is running for Congress in Florida. Now, you're probably wondering, why am I bringing this up? Well,
What's
that's
up,
because
Truth?
she was claimed to be abducted by aliens. So the Miami Herald contacted her
Not much, man. Just been teleporting around the house, bored.
in October to ask her about her experiences with extraterrestrials, and they got the following statement. For years, presidents like Ronald Reagan and Jimmy Carter and astronauts have publicly claimed to have seen unidentified flying objects, and scientists like Stephen Hawking and institutions like the Vatican have even stated that there are billions of galaxies in the universe and we are probably not alone. So in 2009, she gave an interview to a Spanish-language TV station, which she said she was first contacted by aliens when she was only 7 years old. And then they instructed her telepathically to visit them in their spaceship. She said the craft was controlled by quartz stones, and that the aliens looked
That's how I'm
similar
gonna
to the
start
blonde female
communicating with
host
y'all
who was interviewing.
telepathically.
So for all those conspiracy theorists out there, I would imagine this would be the Palladian race. She said that they made predictions about people she would meet in her life, down to the year, month, and even day that actually came to pass. She also hinted in the 2009 interview that they told her about Isis, or possibly the Egyptian goddess. So what do you guys think? Do you think she was actually abducted by aliens? Well, what's even crazier is the former First Lady, wife of Yukio Hatoyama, who was the Prime Minister of Japan, also claimed to have been abducted by aliens. She also said she had a past life with Tom Cruise, but just saying.
When I saw the sunset, it was a brilliant red. The minute I saw it, I realized that history had changed.
So last but not least, our number 1 video, an actual city in the clouds. And no, I'm not talking about Cloud City from Star Wars. So in the video, you can hear many people getting excited by what they're seeing. So what is causing this? Well, some say it could be a secret HAARP weather controlling device called Project Bluebeam, which personally I don't know too much about. Others have commented that it could have something to do with aliens, and some say it could be a phenomenon that we're seeing from a different dimension. Harvard University theorist Lisa Randall believes an extra dimension may exist close to our own familiar reality. But what exactly does this actually mean? Let's say another time-space exists right here, right now, right where we are, but we just
Yeah,
can't
it looks
see
like that.
So due to an imbalance of gravity, or maybe something else, it is possible that a rift in our time-space would open up and you would be able to see into a different time-space. Now, is this actually happening in the video? Maybe, but maybe it's something else. Maybe this would even explain what the Bermuda Triangle is. But let's not get into that right now. We'll save that for another video. The interesting thing is that this happens in China quite often, and not as much as many other areas. So, could there be a gateway or portal over China?
Uh-oh, there's a portal over China. I'm gonna have to teleport there.
Buddhism, it is mentioned that our universe consists of 81 levels of dimensions. And even Buddha Shakyamuni often spoke of other dimensions as well. So these mirages are called Fata Morgana, named after the shape-shifting sorceress Morgana Le Fay, and who is also the antagonist in the King Arthur legend. These mirages can be seen on land, sea, desert, and sometimes the object is completely unrecognizable, like this image here. The other thing is, these floating cities are so detailed that some have even reported seeing people inside of them. So what do you guys think? Is this just a mirage, or are we actually seeing into a different dimension? Well, the problem is that no one knows, which is why it still remains a mystery to this day, and why I chose it as our #1 on the list. Well guys, what do you think of our top 5 unexplained videos of 2017? Do you have anything that you would like to share? Is there any specific...
I'm going to subscribe to these guys. I like these dudes. The Edge of Wonder. That's pretty good. Not a lot of hits, but good videos. I like their videos.
Mermaids. They've been capturing our attention for thousands of years. Every culture on the planet has their own belief in mermaids. Recently, many photos and videos have surfaced claiming to have spotted a real mermaid. Are these sightings actually real? Well, today we're going to be finding out. Welcome to Edge of Wonder. I'm your host, Ben Chasteen, and joining me today is Rob Counts. And today we're going to be going over photos and videos of supposedly real sightings of mermaids.
Let's get to the bottom of this, Ben.
I agree. You know, in the past, I just always assumed, oh, mermaids just a myth, never really thought too much about it.
Nah, I've never thought that. Not at all.
But you know, as I got older and started realizing a lot of things that potentially be real that I never really thought was real, it really opened my
When the other person's not around?
eyes a lot more. And also, so much of the ocean is just underexplored.
We know more about what's going on Mars right now than we do what's going on in our own ocean. I think like only 5% of the ocean is actually known to us. The weirdest thing that you already pointed out is, why do all of these cultures separately have the same myth about this kind of creature? Even if they look different or whatever, it's just strange, right?
So I was telling a coworker, he was asking me what the next topic was going to be. He was going to do it about mermaids. He was telling me, he's from the Philippines, and he said that there's stories of giant squids that will like wrap around their boats, and he said a lot of fishermen actually have this story, kind of the kraken, you know, the ancient sea monster, but what's really crazy is that in real life they have actually found up to, I think, about 59 feet-ish.
That's enormous.
Squid. Yeah, in Japan. But okay, let's get into this. Let's go to the first one.
Dude, it looks like the Kraken ate Ariel and then threw her back up. That's disgusting. Legitimate decomposing body, right? Actually, I would guess that somebody who's just really good at doing that just totally set it up.
You would think if you see a mermaid on the beach, the first thing you're going to do is be like freaking out on the video saying like, oh my gosh, get over people. You're going to report what it smells like, the environment, where you are, like everything. You know, there's just nothing, just silence.
Yeah.
You know, just like definitely saying fake for this one.
Yeah, for sure.
So one of the funny things too is a lot of people have been commenting that the tail looks like a trash bag.
Yeah.
And you could see it flapping in the wind. I mean, if it was a real tail, I don't think it's going to be quite flat.
Right.
All right, well, let's go to the next one.
I'm gonna say that's fake.
Looks cool,
I would
though.
imagine mermaids don't actually have access to collagen that they're pumping into their lips.
Yeah, it does look like she got a Botox and a little bit of her hair done as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice, it's good, but I can imagine this being like a prop on a movie set for sure.
Yeah, actually, it was reported that it was from Pirates of the Caribbean.
So did this circulate on the internet
Oh
as
yeah,
well?
all of these did. I mean, these are all like, oh, mermaid on the beach, mermaid on the beach. Also, I even found photos of the artist even making this. Definitely fake for this one.
Absolutely fake.
Yes. So let's go to our next one. This one has been making rounds for a long time. I mean, for years now.
Oh, that looks creepy.
And it's kind of everywhere. People were saying it's kind of looks like paper mache. Like,
Definitely fake.
yeah, I mean, the artist has a website, and actually a lot of these are actually all on his website, that he actually makes these things.
Yeah, what was interesting about this one is how the artist tries to make the mermaid not look completely human, like he's trying to combine fish with humans. So I could see how people might, you know, mistake it for like something real,
Yeah.
you know.
So let's move on. There's this famous one as well with the so-called scientist next to the bones of the mermaid.
To me, this one actually looks really photoshopped. So
It is.
I'm gonna
It
say
is,
is
yeah.
No, it's not too cold. I mean, it's not freeze. It ain't hot, but it ain't freezing cold here. Nah.
Guy's totally photoshopped there.
Okay.
He's
Also,
like,
let's
whatever.
point out that he's like kind of squatting there, right?
Yeah.
And that is an image of a mermaid in the ground.
All right, let's move on. So this is one of the newer ones that came up
It resembles a mermaid that had access to McDonald's
all the time.
down in the ocean.
Yeah. People even commented this was like moving. And they're like saw it breathing or whatever.
Okay, this guy did a really good job of like
let's,
painting it and stuff.
Let's go to the next image here, which actually shows the painter painting this image, and it's definitely fake.
Gotcha. So Ben, a couple of years back, I mean, it was like 2 years ago, I noticed there was this documentary on about mermaids. It was on Animal Planet, actually.
Oh yeah. They promoted it as it was real. They even had that video of the boy, like, you know, finding that thing on the beach.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He goes up to it, and they were like promoting this.
Oh, the thing and it jumps out or whatever?
Yeah,
what the heck?
I mean, a lot of people thought it was real because a lot of people are into mermaids and understanding, want to know if it's real or not. And so I was watching it, and then like right afterwards, I watched this like interview with the producers and director, and they're like made it up, but it was like based on things that they've heard.
This mysterious sound that has long defied explanation. People don't know what it is. It's presumed to be organic in nature, but that is a real sound that was recorded.
So at the very end of the video, there's like this disclaimer for like 2 seconds that just says everything's like fiction based on like, you know, what could be possibly true or something, you know?
What I want to say is,
Animal Planet, how could you?
I mean, think about it. When
Yeah,
Animal
I
Planet
know.
started, it was just like filming animals in their natural habitat. They like turned into this.
Okay, so let's bring up this video right now of these guys supposedly seeing a mermaid jumping off this cliff. What is your interpretation?
My
of this
reaction
cliff?
to this, like the first time I saw it, was like, first of all, that mermaid, absolutely 3D animated. Like, there was no doubt in my mind. And the thing that really bothered me about it most is how bad those guys were at acting.
To me, I was just like, wow, this could be real. But it was like, how do you not know how to, where's the zoom on a camera?
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, the scene is so fake.
No, it was like so planned.
It's like,
where's
the zoom, man? So after doing some research, man, the whole thing was staged by Animal Planet to promote their second video on mermaids, which I didn't see.
It's just so easy to fake that stuff now.
Right.
Like, so Ben,
Yeah.
enough of this fake stuff. We just looked at a bunch of fake stuff. Is there anything that's actually real out there?
Fortunately, almost everything I saw visually was pretty much fake. However, there are some stories out there that do have credible sources. For example, in Zimbabwe, these workers were building a dam, and all of a sudden they freaked out, they ran away, they went to their manager or whatever. They said that they were being harassed by a mermaid. They didn't want to work on the dam anymore.
That's crazy.
So Minister Nkomo actually came out and made a statement that said, "We even hired whites, as in white people, thinking that our boys did not want to work. But they also returned saying they would not return to work there again." So the crazy thing is, like, even these like Caucasian white people were there working, and
mermaids
they also
don't
didn't
even
want
like
to
white
return
people.
working there again either. This is kind of credible because it involves multiple people. The minister even came out, so it involves officials, and they finally built the dam. It was over a long period of time, and supposedly now the dam even has some problems. Unfortunately, there's no videos or photos.
No,
of
that's
it.
the worst part,
But
right?
I know.
So time to go to Africa then, right? To see
Right.
some mermaids.
Yeah, so let's go to Indonesia.
There you go.
This is during World War II, and soldiers actually reported seeing mermaids coming onto the beach. And they actually describe what they look like. Less than 5 feet, pinkish skin, human-looking face, limbs, spikes along their head, and a mouth like a carp.
It was sounding good up until the spikes on the head and the mouth like the carp. Those things must have been ugly.
So anyway, the superior comes over, his name is Sergeant Tero Hariba, and he sees it. So he goes to his superiors and tells them like, hey, we should investigate this. I've seen it with my own eyes, you know, we should investigate it. And his superiors are like, didn't believe him. They're like, no. But, you know, the thing is, even if they did investigate it and found it was real, we probably wouldn't know anyway.
Yeah,
But,
good
you know,
story though.
Yeah, it is a good story.
Yeah.
You know, and there's other ones in famous throughout history. Christopher Columbus reported seeing mermaids as well.
Was it the Atlantic or was it?
It was in the Atlantic,
So it was.
actually. But yeah, he actually had a quote too. They were not as beautiful as they are painted, although to some extent they have human appearance in the face.
Okay, so one of the instances of mermaids in history that I recall are how they're painted in Japanese paintings. And they're like really weird looking. I think they're called Mingyo.
Actually, so in Japan, around like
I don't kill, I
1200s,
heal.
there was supposedly a mermaid that was washed up on a beach. What's really interesting in Japanese culture, they have this thing where if you eat a mermaid, they feel like it grants you immortality. So
Oh man.
yeah.
So they must have started feasting. Basically, it's like the fountain of youth.
Right. Maybe that's the real reason why we never see mermaids. Because
The Japanese are gonna come over and eat them.
So in this temple, apparently the first Fiji mermaid mummy is on display, which is reported to be about 1,400 years old.
Oh, this is the thing on display.
Yeah, it's actually there.
Probably, of all of the things we talked about, is the most credible because they actually have a display of an actual mermaid they found.
Right. Now, some people have come out and said, oh, it's probably like a manatee or some other type of unique kind of fish or whatever. And when you look at like these things compared to like a mermaid, I mean,
that thing was not a manatee.
So, you know, I mean, our world is just full of unexplained things.
Well, and also the Mariana Trench is like right below Japan, right? That's the deepest part of the ocean in all of the entire world.
Exactly.
You can fit Mount Everest in there.
Right, and still have room on top.
Yeah,
If you
exactly.
put mountains.
So if anything's weird living in the ocean, it's probably around Japan. Yeah. Well, and those stories sound good.
Yeah.
But I would err on the side of being careful when you're hanging around with guys who are doing special effects for movies or something.
I completely agree as well. So guys, what do you think about mermaids? Do you think they actually exist? Do you have any photos or evidence that you would like to show us? Let us know.
We need more evidence, please.
Also, do you have any stories or ideas that you would like to share with me? Just comment below and let me know. Or is there any specific topics that you would like me to cover? Also, don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more awesome videos of unexplained phenomena, life, and our mysterious universe. Until then, we'll see you out on the edge.
Wait, we're not done. Ben, I have a suggestion for a show I'd like to cover. When are we gonna cover Bigfoot?
Ooh. You know what the real question is about the shirt?
What's that?
What is he listening to?
Yeah, really.
Do you believe life exists in other planets? Do you know somebody who was abducted by aliens? Have you This year is a great year to travel. However, the last place you probably want to journey to would be into hell, or the underworld. We are all fascinated by the myths and legends of these gates or portals that are found in our world that go into hell. So let's dive down and explore these mysterious reported gates of hell. Welcome to Edge of Wonder. I'm your host, Ben Chastain, and joining me is Rob Counts.
Hey, everybody. So, for those of you who don't know me, I'm a...
Take it easy, Truth. I'm going to like a show format soon where it's going to be more showish. Right now, I just been kind of hanging out, working and building everything. I'm just trying to get everything together once I get it all right. And then I figure, you know, build it and they will come. So we're doing it, guys. Field of Dreams. But we're calling it YouTube of Dreams.
Creative director, graphic designer by trade. And a couple of years back, when James Cameron dove deep into the Mariana Trench, into the deepest part of the ocean, I had to do an infographic on this, right? And as I was researching it, I came across this other infographic where at the very bottom of the Marianas Trench, there was this little door that he drew in there. It was the real reason James Cameron went down there, was to open this gate to hell, and I was like, what the heck? Like, that's just so weird. I realized that there were a bunch of instances all over the world of these reported historical gates to hell. The first one that I found was actually in Paris, in the catacombs. So the catacombs are basically this 200-mile long tunnel system. In the 1700s, so many bodies started to accumulate in the cemeteries that they started pouring out into the streets, and there was this like foul stench of like rotting human flesh in the air. So if you actually, you can go and you can take a tour in France. They patterned the entire walls of the tunnel, right?
They've now broken up, so it's like one whole area is all skulls, right?
Exactly.
One of those like femurs.
Yeah. It's weird, but it's bizarrely like beautiful in a really kind of bizarre way, of course, because when you realize they're like human remains, the catacombs comes up on lists across the world all the time as one of the most haunted places in the world.
Well,
right?
I definitely wouldn't want to go there alone, that's for sure.
Yeah, all those human remains. Well, the funny thing is, so the people that venture into the catacombs all the time, they call
I like to go there. That'd be really cool.
them cataphiles. They're like obsessed with this place. Yeah. Kids go down there to party and all of that stuff. What makes it interesting is that several years back, a video was found of a guy going through the catacombs, and he basically starts breathing heavier and heavier, and then all of a sudden just drops his camera in a pool of water and is running kind of very frantically down the hall. And so people are getting lost in these catacombs, and they say that people are getting dragged away by something or someone. One of the videos contains this really weird area where a guy is going down and there's this creepy white figure painted on the wall. It's just really weird. One of these like halls, I guess, deep in there is said to contain a gate to hell. Okay, well, what's next? You found another one?
Yes. So number 2 on our list is Tunnels Abaye. This is the story of this prophetic Cumean Sibyl who was fooled by Apollo. So she lives in these caves, the caldera, which is near the volcano.
So Vesuvius, right?
Yeah. And the tunnels under the Phlegraean fields, they're supposedly like a gate into the underworld.
Really?
Yeah. The elaborate, carefully made tunnels lead into a stream of near boiling waters and this like sulfur type smell. And the crazy thing is, this kind of matches the story of Styx.
The river Styx.
So in the 1950s, they actually went into these tunnels, and when they got down, they found this like platform area where a boat could actually.
What, Jimmy? Do your videos with conspiracy in the title get demonetized? When you get demonetized, YouTube don't like to promote your videos. That's the thing, you know. That's why I don't put conspiracy in the title. Because as soon as you do that, they flag it, they demonetize it, and then it don't go in recommendations, it don't go on the YouTube search page, none of that. The concept is to get your video monetized so that they promote it. Because YouTube ain't going to promote nothing that ain't making no money off of. You know, and that's how it works. That's how I think it works. I might be wrong.
Pull up. It's very similar to what is described in the river.
Because I can look at my videos, the ones that have been monetized compared to the ones that are not monetized, and the ones that are monetized always seem to do better.
The river Styx being found in there, like, could that be the river Styx? I mean, that's where people were carried over into the underworld, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so number 3 on our list, it's called the Skinwalker Ranch. So this area is located in...
This thing is owned by the dude Bigelow that owns the Aerospace program, and he also owns the ranch, and he also owns the hotline if you report a UFO. I'm going to do a video on this guy anyway, because I'm kind of into his space program, into the Skywalker Ranch, into his hotels. He owns the whole damn chain of hotels.
Northeastern Utah. All of the different kinds of paranormal activity.
This is where all the cattle mutilation was going on back in the day. Remember when all the UFO stuff was going on and all the cattle mutilation was happening? That's where it was happening, is at the Skinwalker Ranch.
Exist in this one place. So you have people seeing ghosts and weird orb-like things, UFOs. I think there was like thousands of UFO sightings in this area. Wow. There's these things called skinwalkers, and that's why they call it the Skinwalker Ranch. And it's these creatures that reportedly can change from humanoid into cats or any kind of animal. This is one of the only legitimate video of something turning into something else. The only thing that makes...
I used to play Zelda all the time on Nintendo. I was like crazy about some Zelda. I played that shit constantly.
We doubt this video is that when the camera starts shaking a little bit, the guy moves the camera, that's when you see the change. So like it could have been done with 3D graphics or something.
Really interesting thing is the guy who owns it. So it's Robert Bigelow Ranch.
Yeah, he bought it from this family called the Shermans. So actually the ranch was called Sherman's Ranch. Everyone refers to it as Skinwalker Ranch.
Well, the really fascinating thing about Robert Bigelow, he says that he wants to use it for like paranormal research and whatnot. So he hires like a whole entire research staff, like he hires like ex-military people even to like guard the area. You know?
And it's gated and stuff,
it's all gated. You literally can't go there.
Some of the experts, they think that this area is actually like a portal to other dimensions because of all the crazy stuff going on here, right? Okay, so number 4 on our list. It's hosted.
They didn't even say that he owns Motel 6. Yeah, he owns the space program. He plans on putting a Motel 6 in space. He's already got it designed, everything. And SpaceX is going to carry his hotel into space. And the reason they started building them heavy load rockets is because they're working with the Bigelow space program to get these capsules into space. And they're actually going to put a hotel in lower Earth orbit. Is his plan. And what they are is these big things, and they go up there, and they're already designed here on the Earth. And they go up there and they inflate them. Like they're big, huge inflatables. And the way he's done it is he's designed it like Legos, kind of like snap-ons. So he can send one piece up there and it'll sit up there floating in orbit, like that car apparently, that ain't there. And then he can shoot another piece up there and it will attach. And to keep it from falling to Earth, he's putting little turbines or something on it that'll slowly lift it up, just barely, a little bit at a time, to keep it afloat. And he's going to put a hotel up there. And he plans on having visitors in space stay in his hotel in space. And if there is a hotel in space, I can tell you this, they'll leave the light on for you, because that will be the first one.
Castle. This one to me is like the most legitimate one on the list, and it's in the Czech Republic, and it's kind of on a hill in the middle of nowhere. During Ottokar II of Bohemia's reign in the 1200s, there was a hole on this hill. It's so deep that no one could see.
Who is Brian Prime? Is he a YouTuber?
It to the bottom. They reportedly saw humanoid creatures crawling out of this thing and the occasional like black winged demon just flying into it. And so the king at the time was like, yo, we have to like fill this, right? So he decided that they would build.
What guy took his YouTube down? You talking about Elon Musk? Took that stuff down because it's fake. He don't want the world thinking he's a big hoaxer. But it's kind of too late now. You know what I'm saying? He done did the damage has been done.
Build a structure over the hole with like really thick stone to block the whole thing, right? They started construction on this castle. The castle has no water.
Yeah, that's my homeboy. You know, we hang out every now and then. You know, last time I talked to him, you know, he said, Jimmy, I'm going to put my car in space. And I was like, yeah, you do that. You know what I'm saying? And but I was like past that because you chiefing over there, and he was like, all right. And then, you know, that was about the whole conversation.
water, no kitchen, no fortification, so it wasn't used for battle, right? Why would they build like a castle on here with none of those things, right? So, and at the time of its completion, it was unoccupied. No one lived in the castle at the time of its completion. They literally just built this castle as like a cork for this hole. During construction, as the story goes, they find a bunch of guys who have life sentences. They bring them to the construction site, and they say to one of the guys, listen, we'll reduce, you know, your term in prison, or we'll let you free or whatever, if you let us drop you into the hole and you tell us what you see. They tie a rope around the guy and they start lowering him in, and then all of a sudden they just hear blood-curdling screams coming down in the hole. Right. And so they, you know, they pull him up really quick and they look at the guy and he has white hair and he looks like he aged 30 years. If there was like a different kind of time space and wherever they lowered him down, like that could explain the aging, but imagine being down for like 30 years staring at hell and screaming and then someone pulling you back.
I'm not technically disappearing. I'm teleporting. There's a difference. I've been working on a teleport machine. I finally got it hooked up. I got the backdrop for you guys. Added some new lights. I added the teleportation machine. My time machine I'm working on, guys. You know, as soon as we get back to the super chat feature on the other one. I think I could actually add the super chat to this, but I don't want to do that. But when we get back to my other site and I get the super chat, then I'll finish building my time machine. Or the rocket to prove that the earth ain't flat. That it's square.
I mean, of course, these are all just like assumptions I'm making. The story is incredible, right?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
And you can go to Hoska Castle now and check it all out.
Dude, that's another place I would love to go.
I know, right?
Because they have like tours, right?
Yeah.
Coming into number 5 is St. Patrick's Purgatory. The story of St. Patrick's Purgatory is an ancient pilgrimage site, which dates back to the 5th century AD. So it's on Station Island in Loud.
Has anybody been keeping up with the days? You know, it's 90 days. I might need to get a counter. We had to go back and look on Jamz TV and see what the date of the last video I posted, because that would have been the day before they suspended me. And then we'll put a counter on this page and we'll count the days down. I don't know, but look, when I was in jail story, I had a calendar and I was counting days down. An old black man next to me said, "Jimmy, don't let me see you do that shit again." I was like, what? He was like, that calendar, man. He's like, all you doing is making your time go by slow. He said, no. Okay, I take it I'm back. Did y'all lose me for a second, guys? Okay, I should be back. My internet disconnected. He disappeared good that time. Yeah. Am I back? Let me see. Yeah, I'm back. I'm back in black. There's 7 of you guys watching at 7 o'clock in the morning. That's crazy. Hey, there's Tina on a rope swing. Let's watch her swing. The funniest part of this whole video, though, ain't Tina dragging her ass on the ground, which is pretty funny. But the funniest part is her mama in the very beginning, when her mama's screaming. It makes me laugh every time I hear it. It like makes me laugh thinking about it. It's that funny to me for some weird reason. I don't know why. So I gotta hear it. I gotta hear it. I'm gonna put it in my intro.
Come on, baby girl.
We're just gonna loop it.
Come on, baby girl. Come on, baby girl.
Ah, that's just too good.
In Ireland. St. Patrick was having a hard time converting people to Christianity. They were pagans and they were like, well, yeah, we need more proof. And one day he prayed to God and was asking God, like, how can I help convert them? You know, please show me. Well, he had a vision that God came to him and showed him exactly where this pit was in the ground. So he went to the pit, which then he called purgatory. Because then he realized it was like this entrance through purgatory that would eventually like lead to hell, right? Because there was like all kinds of demons and fire and all kinds of things going on. Soon enough, like a bunch of people just started coming because everyone started hearing about this place. So the whole area just converted into Christianity. There's actually a story named Knight Owen. He entered the caves. When he first was approaching the cave, a couple monks showed up and basically told him that when he's having trouble to call out Christ's name, he immediately goes into this cave, and the first thing he sees is like these demons coming over, like rushing and trying to like grab him in.
Jeez.
So he calls out Christ's name. He keeps venturing down this thing further, and then he sees all the souls being persecuted or in the purgatory, being tortured by these demons and all kinds of crazy, crazy things. Then he goes to this fiery lake, and there's this really thin bridge that he has to like walk across. I mean, that's like the actual pit of hell at that point in time. It's like too narrow, so once again he calls out Christ's name, and the bridge widens. And as soon as he gets on the other side, it's like totally different. It's like almost like his paradise. These two priests come up to him, and they tell him that this is the place of souls who rest after they went through the purgatory. And it's basically where they go before they go into heaven. Right?
Oh, wow.
Anyway, so then he's taken to this highest point of the mountains, and he sees the actual gates of heaven. And then like he comes back and everything fades away, and then this is all like written in books.
What's it like? Can you go there now? Like
15,000 people a year that go there. They actually have to go on this pilgrimage. So for 3 days you have to fast. You're only given like some little bread and some cakes and whatnot. You can't wear any shoes. You go there and people like pray basically for these 3 days. I mean, it's completely sealed off now. You can't go into
So
the
they
cave.
locked it all up?
Yeah, yeah. It's just kind of like this holy site now that's turned into this holy site. Yeah, so it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
There's definitely a lot more that have been mentioned. I would say these that we found are more like the interesting stories. There's a few others of like volcanoes, for example, right?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people say a lot of crazy things happen around volcanoes.
So that, I think that was the
Fire.
weirdest thing about this, right? Is that most of the reported gates to hell were either near volcanoes,
Right.
or like bodies of water, like rivers or something, and then they all smell like sulfur.
Yeah, a
Like,
lot
what's
of them
up?
smell like
Isn't
sulfur.
that-
No, I just like how she says it. It's too funny to me. I don't know why.
Weird,
It's
like,
crazy.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think in the comments. I mean, and if there's any of these that you want us to dive into more and explore more, feel free to let us know. And also, guys, if you have any stories or experiences you would like to share with us, just let us know in the comments. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe.
Don't forget to hit like and subscribe.
Come on, baby girl. Come on, baby girl.
For more awesome videos on unexplained mysteries, life, and our wondrous universe. Until then, we'll see you out on the edge.
But not too close to any gates to hell.
Too many.
Come on, baby girl.
Watching things transpire at an unbelievable pace. I marvel at how quickly things are happening and how quickly Bible prophecy is being fulfilled. So the message I want to preach you this morning is a kind of a comparative message, but I hope and pray that it's a message that will speak down into our soul and into our heart. There is a dark land, and that land is India. India is one of the oldest civilizations on the face of this earth, so old that Adolf Hitler sent his people into India to research the Aryan race, along with Tibet and other places. India is ancient. India is the birthplace of Brahmism and Hinduism and Buddhism, and the birthplace of all of that is ancient Babylon.
You're going to get 1 million hits on this video. I swear. It's going to go viral just on me playing it.
Hinduism has many gods. The Hindu trinity is Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Brahma's the creator, Vishnu is the sustainer, and Shiva is the destroyer and recreator. There's a statue of Shiva at CERN, Switzerland, and that statue of Shiva is inside a ring where he is dancing the Nataraj.
What a lot of people don't know is that there are ancient technologies,
#1 fan,
formulas, equations, many of which are embedded in Hindu mythology, and much of particle physics is the result of these findings. It has everything to do with the representation of Shiva at CERN. The Nataraja, the form of Shiva in dance pose, the dance of creation, the dance of destruction.
Switzerland, of all places, where they have this huge Hadron Collider, and it is here that they chose to set this up out in front, showing you that there is a connection between the high science of CERN, Switzerland, a connection between that and the occult world. And there is, because they are seeking what is called singularity at CERN, Switzerland. And singularity is another way of saying the force that motivates the life principle as we understand it, what is going on. You and I know that today, if you are a born-again believer and a Bible believer, that the force that animates the life principle as we understand it today is the power and life of Almighty God. There is no life outside of Him. All life comes from the life giver. And Jehovah of the Old Testament is the Jesus of the New. In Him was life, and the life was the light of men. Amen. And the Bible said He's the light that shineth every man that cometh into the world. Our Lord Jesus Christ.
Our Lord.
Brahmism was born in Babylon, the seat of all idolatry. Nimrod was famous for Babylon. Nimrod was the first one to bring together a coordinated effort of all mankind to come against the truth of the revealed Word of God. Nimrod, the Bible said, was a hunter for souls. My friend, he was a hunter before the Lord, and what he hunted was not deer and elk. He was hunting the souls of men. So you can trace it all the way back to the beginning, that this thing is about seeking the souls of mankind in opposition to the revealed truth of God. The religion of Hinduism took thousands of years to develop, as it is in its present state today. It is a caste system with tiers of people that are born into a certain level in society. And they're born into that level, they live out that level, and they die in that level. The highest is the Brahmin class or the royal class.
I don't know, you sound pretty country too, but your mom, it's just how she says it. I don't know. That's why I find it so funny. I don't know. Come on, baby girl. Reminds me of my family.
The lowest, the untouchables. The untouchables are those that can do nothing to change their lot in life. It is fatalism. But Calcutta, India is a dark land, and there is a place called the Black Hole. David said that
But I call my daughter the same thing, baby girl. So I'm like, what's up, baby girl? I say the same thing, and I'm all hillbilly sounding, so. But if I screamed it, it would probably sound like your mom.
Been cast into an horrible pit, but He brought me up out of it. He brought me up out of this horrible pit. There's a group of people, part of the Hindu religion in India, called the Agori. A-G-O-R-I. Sometimes if you do a little research, you'll see some folks over there that look like they have white powder all over their faces. They're horrible to look at. If you only knew, if you could only understand, if you could only perceive how debased and degraded that these people are, it would blow your mind. It would literally make you sick if you read what they do.
They eat leftovers from human dead bodies. They drink in a bowl made of human skull. And they wear ash from a human pyre. Known as the followers of Lord Shiva, these are the Aghoris. A place considered dreadful by others is home for Aghoris, the Hindu cremation ground. Followers of Lord Shiva, the most powerful of all Hindu gods and considered the destroyer. These Aghoris follow occult practices dating back to the 5th century AD. The Kamakya temple, situated on top of the Nilachal hill in Guwahati in northeast India, is the center of widely practiced powerful tantric or black magic cult in India.
Uh-oh, the destroyer.
They are destroying the image of God that God put in you. Every last one of us in this house today have been born into the image of God. Not fully, not completely. The image was lost, but Christ came and restored that image. He brought back what the first Adam lost. And that image of God is what makes you different from everything else, including angel, cherubim, seraphim. In plain words, you have worth. You have a reason to live. And Satan wants to degrade you. Don't you see how pagan our society is becoming? Don't you see what's happening out there? They are being reduced to animals. There's a reason for that. They want to reduce them to animals so there make no difference between the two, because this new religion coming down the pike makes no religion. You are an animal as far as the world's concerned, but I, praise God, have the image of God in me, and it cannot be taken away.
I think I look pretty good for my age. I mean, for the most part, in the dark, from a distance.
This is all Hinduism. This is also New Age movement. This is also a universal spirit that people receive. And this country is being baptized in a universal spirit. Everybody thinks alike today. If you are a true born-again Christian, you don't think like they do. And that's why they label you, they call you a hater. They're going to kick you out if you don't march to their tune. Join their group, think like they say to think, then you don't have this universal spirit. Praise God. Let me tell you something,
Praise
folks.
the Lord.
God put His
Jesus
Holy
loves
Spirit
you.
in me when He saved me. And if you're born again today, the Holy Ghost is in you.
I was a little late on my Sunday sermon, but you know, it's better late than never, guys.
They don't know that. They've never known Him, and they never will until they're born again. In India, they've got a special god called Kali, K-A-L-I. This is quite a remarkable thing for Western civilization.
Truth, if they fly over your city today with some chemtrails, you call me, and I will get on my phone with my boy Trump, and I'll make sure it don't happen no more. I'll call him up, be like, Trump, yo, they cheming my man, right? They chemtrailing my man up. He can't breathe. You know, how is he going to watch my show if he can't breathe, right? And I'll make sure it gets handled for you, man. I'm cool like that. I'll take care of you. Only on Jams TV.
To even understand what I'm talking about. In those days in the 1800s.
You know, Donald Trump, he would be coming in the chat sometimes. He'd be watching the show. Him, the CIA, the FBI, David Icke. You know, I got some fans.
Caravans would move from one town to the other, and the reason they did is because they had to have protection. They watched out for themselves, for highway robbers and so forth. But these people were so subtle that they would join in with the group, be accepted by the people, the worshippers of Kali, K-A-L-I. They would go join in with the caravan. They would go with them maybe days into their trip, and then at night, while the rest of them slept, these monsters would rise up, and they would murder wholesale all the people around them, and they were doing it for their God.
I tell y'all guys, y'all just let me know. You know, I told you, you know, being part of the Illuminati and there's so many people on the planet, we got to kill some of you guys off. But, you know, I'll let them know just to, you know, cut it back a little bit in your areas because, you know, y'all ain't with me. And I told y'all, like, I'm going to let y'all in my bunker when it all goes down. I got a bunker. I ain't going to tell y'all where it's at, though. But when time comes, I'm going to look out. Y'all are part of the resistance. And you're going to see my resistance series coming that the machine is taking over. I'm going to put me something cool back here. It says, like, with shit blowing up and stuff, it's going to be like, I don't know. It's going to be something cool as soon as I think it up. My imagination ain't been working good lately.
Cali. Did you know that just a few months back in New York City, they projected an image of Cali on the side of one of those buildings up there? Cali is that monster that you see the hideous face and the long tongue sticking straight out and down. That's Cali. That's a bloodthirsty monster. That is one of the gods of the Hindu. Bloodthirsty monster. And yet in this country, we've got people today who think it's cool to wear images of Cali around on their clothing, or they have placards to Cali. Cali is a monster, folks. Believe me, the people that worshipped Cali were called thuggies. Thuggies. Thuggy. This is where we get the word thug. How many of you have ever heard the word thug? Now you know where it came from. It came from Cali, and we all know that a thug is somebody that needs to be locked up behind bars. First all, they need the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ to get them saved. Amen. Sometimes, though, you got to lock them up before they'll listen to what you have to say. That's the difference between a thug under Cali and a born-again believer under our Lord Jesus Christ. That caste system has the Brahmin, which is the royal priest. And it also has the untouchable, which is the lowest part. In one of the traditions of Hinduism is that they will take, when a dead body is to be burned, they cremate most of them, that the wife, the widow of that dead husband, she will immolate herself.
I know this video better have some damn likes since I'm on at 7 o'clock in the morning, 7:10 in the morning. How many of y'all guys are watching? There's like 7, 8 of y'all watching. It better at least have 7 or 8 likes. So I'm going to reach out and I'm going to grab you by the skull and I'm going to crush your skull like this. I am crushing your skull. You got 9 likes. Okay, I'm good. Alright, I'm sold. That's the most likes I've ever had in my whole life.
She will burn herself to death on the funeral pyre of her husband.
Alright, I'm handing out Kool-Aid. Whoever wants a glass, just get up with me. Get in line and make sure you get the Kool-Aid. It ain't the jimmyjamz Kool-Aid. It's the jimmyjamz Kool-Aid. It's better flavored.
But they say that in certain areas of India and other areas, it's still practiced.
Years after the practice of sati was abolished by law, it still prevails. The Sati Anusuya temple in Chitrakoot district of Uttar Pradesh attracts a large number of devotees.
ये हम लोग का श्रद्धा है जब हम लोग यहाँ चले जाते हैं और तो बाकी तो हम लोगों के हमारी दादी जो है कम से कम 40 वर्ष से यहाँ पे हर साल आती हैं दीपावली पे.
The ground reality is that this devotion is used to grant sanctity to an evil practice.
बांदा जिला के कुशमा गांव की महिला थी जिसको सती किया गया था. जब उसको अर्थी में बैठाला गया था तो वो उठ करके खड़ी हो जा रही थी और उसके ऊपर वो.
Okay, look, I just translated what this lady said, and when I did the translation, I put it in Google, and this is what came up.
Come on, baby girl.
I don't know. I thought she was speaking in Hindu, but apparently, I don't know.
नारियल फेंके जा रहे थे तो वो हाथ दे रही थी ऐसे ऐसे कि मतलब मत करो मेरे साथ ऐसे, मत करो मेरे साथ ऐसे. जैसे जैसे वो मना कर रही थी वैसे वैसे यहाँ हवा फैल रही थी कि वो सबको खड़े हो करके आशीर्वाद दे रही है.
This raises the
I translated that too, and it said,
1, 2, 3.
oh.
question that do people really know about the law against sati?
कानूनी जानकारी सबको है, लेकिन जो मजबूत धार्मिक आस्था लोगों के दिल पर बैठी हुई है, उसको चोट पहुंचाना और उसके खिलाफ सवाल उठाना शायद अभी भी.
Hey guys, I gotta go get me a smoke.
Because her husband is gone. It's almost like they're saying, your husband owns you. You belong to him, that you have no life outside of him. But let me tell you this morning who owns me. The Bible said I was bought with a price. My Lord Jesus Christ owns me. And he doesn't ask me to burn myself to death. Oh, no, 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 no. He wants me to live for him. He wants Christ to be formed inside of me. There's the difference, folks. Religion brings death. Christ brings life. So the dead religion in America imported Hinduism. And by importing Hinduism, it repackaged it in a Western format and called it the New Age movement. The New Age movement, now you say, well, now that's out there. No, 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 it's in here. The New Age movement is in the church house big time. And the New Age movement is the foundation. It is the basis for the one world religion. For as far as the New Ager is concerned, any God goes. It's okay. It doesn't make any difference. Just as long as you got yourself plugged in to this universal spirit. We live in a self-narcissistic generation. It's all about me and the many forms that I take. So we have preachers today that cater to that, and they get up in front of the people and they preach self-love. Self-love. Folks, let me tell you something right now. Your problem is not enough love for yourself. That's not our problem. The Apostle Paul said one of the things that mark the end day is this, that they'll be lovers of their own selves. Your problem is not a lack of self-love. That is your problem if you've got self-love. If you'd ever loved the Lord Jesus Christ like you ought to, love God with all your heart and all your soul, everything else would take its rightful place. Your problem is not a lack of self-love. That is the problem if you're full of self-love. But the New Age movement is all about self and self-love. The New Age, God is not the creator, God's the creation. For they're pantheistic. And so, part of that is the evolutionary God of metaphysics and the occult world. The origin of evolution is Babylon. And Charles Darwin, when he came out with his Origin of the Species, they dropped half of the title of that had to do with favored races. Charles Darwin was a racist to the bone. Now, I don't know if I'm trippy. Check me out. Go home and do a little reading into it, and you'll be surprised what you find out. But you'll also find out this. You'll find out that the foundation of evolution is a spiritual thing. And you'll find out that it's connected with the occult world. Therefore, anyone who has embraced evolution without question, whether you know it or not, you have embraced the spirit of evolution. And the spirit of evolution is the spirit of this age. And it's the spirit of rebellion against God. And
I am totally against evolution, guys. Totally. I've been saying that since the very beginning. Go back to any of my videos, way back from the start. I'll say evolution is bullshit. I was never a monkey. Neither were none of you guys. None of your ancestors were ever monkeys. We've always been the human species. That's why they've never found the X gene, because it don't exist, because we were never monkeys. Okay? And I hate hearing people teach that or tell that shit to kids, because it's a total lie.
It's an occult spirit, a metaphysical, a supernatural, paranormal spirit. And that is the spirit that's going to prepare you to receive the Antichrist.
Come on,
the Apostle Paul warned the church at Thessalonica. He said, if you can receive another letter or another spirit as from us, words bring spirits. So evolution is a horrible, horrible foundation.
I don't know if you got any monkey in you. You might have a lot of things in you, but I don't think you got no monkey in you.
One of the things about the New Age movement is the identity of Christ. He's called an ascended master. In Sunday school, I talked about Notovich.
Come on, baby girl.
Nikolai Notovich, a Russian who said that Christ went to a monastery when he was a boy. And in that monastery, he was instructed by a monk about how he could be part of the initiation. He could learn the great truths through the occult world. And then they recorded all of this and showed the books and what have you to Notovich. He went back and wrote a book and published it in 1894. Immediately the Christians rose up in arms and said, hold on, you're a liar and a deceiver. They went to India, they went to the same monastery, they went to the same monks, and the monks that they went to said, we don't know who you're talking about. We've never seen Notovich. We didn't show him any ancient documents. This is all a fabrication. But he published his book and made his money, and people to this day believe that the Lord Jesus Christ was nothing in the world more than an ascended master, that he was the Christ, that had an anointing come upon him, that he's not the true and living God. That's not the Jesus of the Bible. You got to be awful careful today, folks. This is your generation, 2017. You got to be careful which Jesus you believe in. Do you believe in the Jesus of the Bible, or do you believe in the Jesus of the rest of the world? You have to make a choice.
I believe in the Jesus of the
There's no place
Bible.
for sin in this New Age movement. The principle of yin-yang dominates the religious thinking in America. In other words, we're all in...
Guys, I hate to say he's right. I am a strong supporter of the yin-yang too. I believe in religion and a little bit of philosophy. I think the world has a way, like karma. Like to a Christian, karma don't exist because only one person can judge you and you will pay for your sins when you go to that person. But in Buddhism and all these other religions, karma is the world's way of getting your ass back, right? It comes back to you sevenfold. You do something bad, you'll pay for it. If you don't pay for it in this life, you'll pay for it in the next life. They believe you pay for all your bads, and you're rewarded for all your good. So they try to be good people because that's what they believe. So, I don't know, I mixed the two a little bit with Christianity and philosophy. I think even as a Christian, I think they tell me that, you know, I'm only going to be judged by God, but, you know, you do all this bad stuff, and like stuff, you know, sometimes you see bad people and good things happen for bad people, but that's very rare. Usually bad people, bad stuff happens to, and usually good people, you tend good things. I ain't saying bad stuff don't happen to good people. It does every day. But usually if you're on the right path and you're a good person and you're doing good and you're working hard, usually good things come your way. Sometimes it will rain on that parade, but, you know, usually that happens. And bad people, bad things tend to happen to. And that's the way the world works itself out. You know, everybody gets theirs in the end. You know, it's just the kind of way it works. And I strongly believe that. But at the same time, it goes against Christian belief, you know, that you shouldn't judge nobody, or, you know, that why be mad at you? It ain't my place to be mad at you, or to worry about anything you do in your life. The only thing I should worry about is myself and my relationship with my God, not your relationship with my God.
Together, don't judge me. If it feels good, do it. I can go to church and I can be religious. I can be very, very religious from my cafeteria religion, and I can sleep around with anybody I want to. That's what gets preached today. And that's the kind of stuff that's coming out of them. The reason it is because they got the same spirit. The word sin hasn't been mentioned in some of these churches in decades. They won't mention it, and the reason they won't is because sin has no part in yin-yang. Yin-yang is good, bad, white, black, feminine, masculine. You need both to make the total, so you need to be both good and bad. The spirit of this age is, I'm good, but I'm bad. I do this is good, but I do that's bad. That's the way people think. Am I right?
I'm not preaching. This was about CERN. This wasn't even about no religious stuff. What he's saying is, you know, that CERN has the statue out there, and this is what the statue represents. I guess the video itself is explaining what, you know, these people believe in this, the dance that the little Hindu god is doing, and it's the dance of destruction. And you got CERN smashing particles in each other, building black holes, which they say create events, but don't explain the events that they create. And people start to wonder. I mean, it makes sense. They kind of poke fun at the Mandela effect. They got videos with them wearing a sign that says Mandela Bond 1 or something. Like, it's weird. Why if you're some big scientist, or you just laughing at people thinking you're doing something and you're just making fun of it. But when people are questioning it anyway, and then you're like just like doing weird shit, it makes you question it even more. Like, what are these dudes doing? And like, some people are right. Who gave them permission to do this in the world? You know, this is something that the whole world should have came together and agreed on. Somebody that's creating black holes, you can just go, okay, well, I'm going to do this. And these scientists came together and they built this big machine. But did the world agree on that? You know what I'm saying? There was no World Council or nothing. Like, it don't matter what Russia thinks about y'all doing it, or China thinks about you doing it, or no other countries in the world don't matter. Just the countries that wanted to do it. I mean, I think this is something that the world should have decided, not just a few countries in the world go, okay, well, we're going to start creating weird shit and events that happening in the world, and then other countries don't have no say in it. You know, they're just like, well, damn. And what if you was in China and you ain't got nothing to do with CERN, and the rice patties or something will change? And you know what I'm saying? You go to get a fortune cookie, and there ain't no damn white strip of paper in it no more. It never existed. It was just a cookie the whole time. It would mess you up. You know what I'm saying? Think about that. You go get a fortune cookie, and ain't no piece of paper in it. You looking forward to your future, and you ain't got no damn future because they done changed something at CERN, and there ain't no futures in the damn fortune cookies anymore. It mess you up.
Come on, baby girl.
See? What if reality changed where her mom never said, come on, baby girl?
Yes, they may not be able to define it that way. They may not know what yin and yang is, but that's the spirit they've received. That's the New Age spirit.
Okay, let's see. Your payback is close to $28K, but my lawyer gets 26%. Time you give me my 10%, that'd be 36%. So you would still have what? 64% left. I mean, that would be a good amount. For one, it ain't night, it's daytime. I can see the sun through my blinds. So I want to welcome y'all to the Church of Jimmy. There will be donation baskets going around. We accept the kind that jingle, but I much rather get the kind that folds. And you know, and I'll preach to y'all guys. I'm going to do a Sunday morning Jimmy Jams church
First
service.
of all, they told John Dee and his cohorts that to get the key to the Stargate, you need to do two things. The first thing you need to do has to be in two parts. The first thing you need to do is to find out how to make matter from energy. I'm cutting a long story short. It took them hundreds of years just to read through this stuff. But they said, you're too stupid to even know how to do that. So we have to teach you the opposite first. which is how to release energy from matter.
Come on, baby girl.
That's not what you're going to do, but that's how you have to learn. And to do that, it's going to take you 500 years. Remember when Oppenheimer split the bomb, split the atom? That was when they patted themselves on the back, because phase one was accomplished. The pupils had learned now how to release energy from matter that day. Remember, even people said, my God, they could have destroyed this whole arm of the universe. Well, they don't care, because they have to prove to their masters now, right, that they've learned phase one.
I don't know, guys. I haven't been outside yet. It wasn't raining here. It's chilly, but it wasn't raining. I don't think it's raining. It might be raining. I don't know.
That's actually not what they have to learn. They have to learn the opposite. But they have to learn phase one of how to release energy from matter. That was done. Now they're doing the opposite. Now, slowly, they're beginning to learn how to create matter from energy, which is what the macrobes told them is that one of the keys to get out of the Stargate. MIT, SRI, NEC Corporation, and also Sun Corporation are just fronts for that. That's all they are. They're just fronts.
Y'all can catch my my church service on Sunday. I need a religion. I'm going to create one. That seems to be what people do these days. They just create a religion. And I'm going to come up with like a real good one, like the dude from Scientology. What was it? L. Ron Herbert. I'm going to write something better than him. And I'm going to see if Tom Cruise will join. Maybe Chef from South Park. And I don't know, Sally Fields. Wait, Sally Field. These days. I'm going to try to get them all. The First Church of Jams. There you go. The First Church of Jams. That's a good one. I can go with that. Rent you. Damn it. Time I rent you, it'll be time to go back to Jams TV and you'll have a wrench. Why you got to have 2 wrenches?
For that particular agenda. The second key involved, the macrobes told them, involves the element known as silicon. You're talking to John Dee in the 14th century. He's like, no, what anything is this? What? What? Right? So they're telling him this stuff, and they said the second key has to do with silicon. What we're calling the silicon revolution is the end game that is now being played out, which is why you see these symbols coming from the ancient world, you know, on these logos.
I want you all to imagine, if you want to know what CERN is doing, I want you to imagine you come into a world and you find architecture all over the place, buildings and homes and houses, and you think they're beautiful and it's really a big discovery. You find out with the houses, you can house people. You can do many things with a house, with a structure. All of a sudden, after many years, you become curious and you say, what's holding all this together? And you begin to find not nails that you can take out, but glue that has bonded itself to the materials. And you become interested in that glue that's holding the structure together. And so you're fascinated by this glue, and you've tried everything to replicate it. You can't, because it's hardened. Glue is hardened. You come to the realization the only way to find out how this glue is working is to break it down to its basic particles. And you have to have that glue in its former state, not the state after it's already hardened, right? So you don't want it in the cured state, the state that you can see. You want it in its initial state, which is a liquid state, before it hardens. And so CERN, basically, is a device that will allow them to examine particles in their initial state, not after everything is bonded together. That's a very simple way to look at what CERN is doing. They're trying to find the glue that holds everything together, is what they're doing. That's the purpose of CERN. Now, what has come out of CERN is called antimatter, which was first actually produced. It was first produced in 1955, and CERN is a very old organization, but it was produced in 1955, and
the wrenches really don't do nothing anyway, because you have to, for me to play a video, you got to give me the title. The only thing the wrench allows you to do is post a link, and then besides that, like, the link don't do no good, and it lets you time out people, but we ain't timing out nobody anyway. If it gets that bad, you know, we'll take care of that. But so I don't know, it don't really do people too much good. I'm cool in blue in the real chat at JM's TV. Yeah. Yeah, this is only a temporary thing. So yeah, everybody's gonna have their wrenches when they go back to the other thing. So ain't a big deal. Don't get all wrench sad. I'm real, I use one name. I still don't know if Happy's a guy or girl. Did we ever come to that conclusion? I'm just playing. I know you're a dude.
they found positrons, which are anti-electrons. To understand what antimatter is, I'm going to have to explain very bare basics of what matter is. And believe me, it's going to get very weird here shortly, because you're going to begin to see exactly what...
Happy, have you added to Facebook yet? JMTV Facebook? You got to be on the JMTV Facebook to even have a wrench these days, because I got to be able to communicate with you and see you and know who you are. So yeah, if you haven't joined the JMTV Facebook, I think you have though, if I ain't mistaken. I turned you. Okay, you got me, man. I'll give it to you. See, you beat me right there. That you sold me. Anybody that hooked me up with Froggy Fresh deserves a damn wrench. All right. There you go. Now we gotta listen to Froggy Fresh just because you said something. See what you did? You created a monster. But I'm sure Froggy Fresh would be proud of you.
Eggo Waffles.
You can hate me, but you won't ever break me. I shall not fear a thing, for my dear Lord will not forsake me, persecute me. Boy, you can shoot me, homie, you can stone me, you can lock me up in solitary. All I know is lonely, all I know is work, all I know is hurt, all I know is pain, all I know is rainy days, all I know is chains. It's me and Mike, it doesn't matter what our name is. You can't take away our dreams, and we got dreams of being famous. I done seen too many souls become a victim of the system, either wind up flipping burgers or they're packed inside of prison. I don't want it, I don't want that for my fam. So when we cannot stand, we will scrape and crawl into our promised land. They do not know me, therefore they cannot hold me. Watch me break into the upper class and bring all of my homies, cause you're my brothers, and I love you as I do myself. I put that on my health. What is wealth without a commonwealth? I'm Froggy Fresh, and I ain't gonna rest. Ain't gonna stop until you pull this heart out of my chest. On the same old street, in the same old crib. Yeah, the name done changed, but I'm the same old kid screaming out Froggy Fresh. Boy, I ain't gonna rest. Ain't gonna stop until you pull this heart out of my chest. On the same old street, in the same old crib. Yeah, the name done changed, but I'm the same old kid. They cannot stop us because we are a movement. Whether you are my brother or some kid I went to school with. Look, dog, I ain't no would-be. They're scared and they should be. Yes, now they are afraid of the idea of what we could be. We will be. Boy, you could come out.
That's what she said, Heather.
Tongue out, you could kill me, but you won't ever, ever stop the spirit that does fill me. Cause love don't ever die. I thought you knew by now. You stop our breath, you dig a grave and put us in the ground. I just hope that when I till the age of 9 to learn that life's a war, and I can't even lie. You don't want it, you know why? Cause when you look me in the eye, you know I ain't afraid to die. Cause there's victory in death long as you die for something great. If death is what it takes for me to win, then I won't stay. Screaming out, froggy fresh, boy, I ain't gonna rest. Ain't gonna stop until you pull this heart out of my chest. On the same old street, in the same old crib. Yeah, the name done changed, but I'm the same old kid. Screaming out, froggy fresh, boy, I ain't gonna rest. Ain't gonna stop until you pull this heart out of my chest. On the same old street, in the same old crib. Yeah, the name done changed, but I'm the same old kid. And they won't ever tell you, but they hate to see you make it. And as soon as you get something for yourself, they want to take it. Well, go on, you can have it. I'll look away while you grab it. Boy, I don't need no stacks and I don't need no baller status. Ain't no power in the dollar, but the power's in the people. Cause our wallets ain't the same, don't mean we ain't created equal. I don't need for you to clap, I don't need for you to cheer. I just hope that when I speak that there's somebody there to hear. And I don't need no castle, cause every castle crumbles. I know that I'm gonna stumble, I just hope that I die humble. I hope that I stay down to earth and grounded, because my fortress is the human race by which I am surrounded. I hope you love me, I hope you love me. I hope to God that there's a heaven up above me. I see the beauty in what we could be. So my dear brothers, let us all be what we should be. Screaming out, froggy fresh, boy, I ain't gonna rest. Ain't gonna stop until you pull this heart out of my chest. On the same old street, in the same old crib. Yeah, the name done changed, but I'm the same old kid. Screaming out, froggy fresh, boy, I ain't gonna rest. Ain't gonna stop until you pull this heart out of my chest. On the same old street, in the same old crib. Yeah, the name done changed, but I'm the same old kid. They do not know me, therefore they cannot hold me. Watch me break into the upper class and bring all of my homies. They do not know me, therefore they cannot hold me. Watch me break into the upper class and bring all of my homies. Screaming out, froggy fresh, boy, I ain't gonna rest. Ain't gonna stop until you pull this heart out of my chest. On the same old street, in the same old crib. Yeah, the name done changed, but I'm the same old kid.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, Lord.
Mike picked up the phone, just like every other night. Mike had to go home, but this time something felt strange. I could see it in his eyes, I could feel Mike's pain. He leaned over with his hands on his head. He screamed real loud till his face turned red. He took a deep breath, he paused and said, "My mom, she dead." A robber thought nobody was home, but Mike's mom was there alone. The robber fired 6 shots from his gun, and she didn't have time to call 911. An eyewitness was there on the scene. Hey, you're not gonna believe who she seen. Mike nearly passed out when she gave the man's name. It was him, it was James. I could see it in his face, I could see it in his eyes. Mike, be strong, Mike, don't cry. Mike, hold on, Mike, don't do it. Mike was gonna kill him, and everybody knew it. I could hear it in his voice, I could hear it in his cries. Mike, don't go, Mike, you're gonna die. Mike, just stop, please, Mike, please. But he wasn't gonna stop till he made James bleed. He grabbed his gun and headed for the bus stop. Then he waited out front of the gas stop. And then he got right up on the bus. He was a good guy, but he sure was nuts. I gave Mike my last farewell. Where he was headed, he would not tell. I asked God to protect him, and if he died, I asked heaven to accept him. Then Mike rode out into the night. I told myself, I hope I'm not right, but now I think he'll come back, unless it's in a casket wearing all black. I felt helpless, there's nothing I could do, and I ain't never walked a mile in his shoes. But I knew that this was bad news. I was about to lose the most important member of my crew. I could see it in his face, I could see it in his eyes. Mike be strong. Mike, don't cry. Mike, hold on. Mike, don't do it. Mike was gonna kill him, and everybody knew it. I could hear it in his voice. I could hear it in his cries. Mike, don't go. Mike, you're gonna die. Mike, just stop. Please, Mike, please. But he wasn't gonna stop until he made James bleed. I heard about how it all went down in the middle of the woods with nobody around. Mike and James with their finger on the trigger. Violence will only make your problems even bigger. James fired 3 shots into the night before Mike even had James in his sight. That's how it all went down. Violence is only gonna put you in the ground. I could see it in his face, I could see it in his eyes. Mike, be strong. Mike, don't cry. Mike, hold on. Mike, don't do it. Mike was gonna kill him, and everybody knew it. I could hear it in his voice, I could hear it in his cries. Mike, don't go. Mike, you're gonna die. Mike, just stop. Please, Mike, please. But he wasn't gonna stop until he made James bleed.
Okay, I can't take no more Froggy Fresh. Alright, guys. I think I'm going to get ready to get out of here. It's getting late. Y'all might see some videos post up onto Jams TV too. Y'all might get some notifications. I don't know. I'm probably going to make them private. But then I got to make them unprivate so I can rip them and put them on Jams TV. Because I want to have my background like this. And for some reason, in my other program, I can't get the green screen to look right. And so I'm going to green screen all my stuff on Jams TV too. And then I'm going to rip it from here and post it over there. But so as soon as I post it here, as soon as I rip it, I'm going to delete it. That way when I post it over there, it don't violate me for third-person copyright things. We're posting somebody else's video. Even though it's my own video, YouTube don't have no way of knowing that. So it's like I'm taking somebody else's video. So you might see some of that go on because it I'll have to green screen it here to have my backgrounds the way they are. Yeah. I slept most of the night, so I'm pretty much awake. That's for sure. Like I said, I'm going to bring some crazy Mandela effect video. Your reality is not what you know it. Things are changing. You know, something crazy like that. I don't know. I just got to get the videos, a couple videos a day back going. And like I said, it helps the algorithm on YouTube. Because I've been watching all these creator shows. And if you take a little while off and you don't post, it's like it skips over you and starts promoting somebody else. It's weird. So you got to be on a roll. And when you're posting a lot and doing a lot, it realizes that. And it gives you higher rankings up the video chain. You're going to be exhausted. You don't get you some sleep. See, I slept. So, I'm pretty well rested, I guess. I'm probably going to, I don't know what I'm going to do. My hand's itching. Somebody must owe me some money. Now, ain't that what they say, the old saying? If your hand itches, that means you're going to end up with some money. Oh, you was asleep when I came on? Okay, well. I hope my notification didn't wake you up. That would suck. That's probably my things about my friends. They're like, man, I get all these notifications at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Do you ever sleep? I'm like, yeah, I sleep. Of course. See? There you go. I'm like the alarm clock. If you got to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't know. I come on weird times. But I was sitting there, and I was going to come on like I was supposed to at 11. And I was laying there relaxing, smoked, and then I just nodded off and didn't wake up till about 2:15. So I slept from, I say, 10:45-ish. I got a good 3 hours in, solid. Let's see, what are we playing next? I'm not going to be like up here a few more minutes. And then, like I said, I'm going to make a video or something. because I need something for my channel. I've been killing so much time on these live streams, I ain't been getting very many videos done. Matter of fact, I was supposed to go hang out with my daughter today, I think. I told her we might hang out today. And I'm probably going to probably take me a little nap later and probably go pick her up, hang out with my little girl. Her 18-year-old. But she got a tattoo the other day. I ought to kill her. But then I'll be in jail. And then I won't have a kid. So that probably ain't a good idea. She's 18. She ain't a baby no more. She better get a job. So she stopped asking me for money. Nah, I'm probably gonna buy her a car or something. I hear that. Welcome to the Church of Jams. I want 10% of your money.
People want to understand what CERN is.
In the deed to your property. You give me all your worldly possessions, and I'm going to get you on the spaceship that is following the Hellbot Comet, people. All right, I got access. I got VIP. Like we're like first class. We're flying first class on the ship that's chasing the Hellbot Comet. And for all your worldly possessions, I will let you guys on the ship with me.
If they would just indulge me for a little bit, they'll have a clear understanding of why they're doing it, what they're looking for, and
10% of your bills. That's a good one. Nah, I'm good without that. Matter of fact, I need to pay my cell phone bill. I need to pay my cell phone bill and my car insurance.
What is the potential and the facts that will come out of these experiments? CERN, and amazingly, it won't come from the scientific community or anybody who has knowledge of physics. They will not tear it apart because they understand what I'm saying. So I'm gonna make this as basic as possible. I want you all to imagine, if you want to know what CERN is doing, I want you to imagine you come into a world and you find architecture all over the place, buildings and homes and houses, and you think they're beautiful and it's really a big discovery. You find out with the houses, you can house people. You can do many things with a house, with a structure. All of a sudden, after many years, you become curious and you say, what's holding all this together? And you begin to find not nails that you can take out, but glue that has bonded itself to the materials. And you become interested in that glue that's holding the structure together. And so you're fascinated by this glue.
You got taxes on your truck. I seen you were selling your truck. How much are you selling the truck for? My buddy, I was sitting here and I was like, yeah, I seen a truck for sale. And he's looking for a truck. And I seen you were selling a truck, a Silverado, right?
You've tried everything to replicate it. You can't because it's hardened. Glue is hardened. You come to the realization the only way to find out how this glue is working is to break it down to its basic particles.
I'll tell him when he comes over here today. When I see him today.
And you have to have that glue in its former state, not the state after it's already hardened. Right? So you don't want it in the cured state, the state that you can see. You want it in its initial state, which is a liquid state, before it hardens. And so CERN, basically, is a device that will allow them to examine particles in their initial state.
Oh, I got you. I ain't a truck guy. I like Jeeps. I'm a Jeep person, and I'm gonna get me a Vet. And I really like big trucks. I'm not a big truck. I'm too small to climb up in a big truck. My Jeep's kind of big for me.
Not after everything is bonded together. That's a very simple way to look at what CERN is doing. They're trying to find the glue that holds everything together. Is what they're doing. That's the purpose of CERN. Now, what has come out of CERN is called antimatter, which was first actually produced. It was first produced in 1955, and CERN is a very old organization, but it was produced in 1955, and they found positrons, which are anti-electrons. To understand what antimatter is, I'm going to have to explain the very bare basics of what matter is. And believe me, it's going to get very weird here shortly, because you're going to begin to see exactly what they're doing. But you have to understand what you're looking at now. The matter and antimatter are in fact opposites. Now, the matter that we have in front of us, if you take a piece of wood, nothing happens. It's just a piece of wood. But if you set that wood on fire, you have caused a reaction. And then it's in a dangerous potential state. It's active. If you have a battery outside of your cell phone, it does nothing. You put the battery inside the cell phone, the electrons begin to flow. The electrons will flow from one place to another. Essentially, that's what electronics are, the control of electrons. They control the direction, the speed of electrons, which create tiny pulses. They flow or don't flow, flow or don't flow. Those are called gates. Those gates form.
That's cool. That's like me. My house is actually my mom's house. This is the house my mother lived in. I actually grew up in this house as a teenager too, which makes it comfortable because I grew up here. And when my mom passed away, she left me her house, and my house ended up burning down. And then I moved in here. Well, I moved in here. I was in the process of moving in here when my house burnt down. It burnt to the ground too. Sucked, but it happened. Can't cry over spilled milk. I got another house. So everything happens for a reason, I'm sure.
Computers. And with a computer, we can do fascinating things. This is why they did, in fact, take Nikola Tesla's findings, because he discovered some things with electrons and protons that were very fascinating. Electricity within itself is a visual observation of electrons and protons in their active state.
You gave him the house. Here, take this. Just get away from me. Oh, you packed up and kicked rocks. I hear that. Fuck the house. I'm out.
Non-controlled state. Antimatter is the opposite of the matter that we can control. Antimatter cannot be controlled. In fact, when they first produced antimatter, they had to have a facility to contain it, because unlike the wood, where you have to have a reaction to cause it to burn, antimatter, you have to have a containment to cause it not to burn. That's the only way they can store it, with massive facilities to store it. Let me give you an example. In a nuclear bomb, it takes timing, which takes electronics, and the explosions have to be just right to cause a reaction. That's a nuclear bomb, like the Hiroshima bomb, which takes pounds of nuclear material to cause it to react. And it has to be very precise. Well, let's go the opposite. Let's say we had antimatter, correct? If we had 1 gram of antimatter, that would equal about 42 or 40, let's just say 45 kilotons of TNT, which is about 4 Hiroshima bombs. And it's already inherently unstable. It's unstable. The only way to harness antimatter is to contain it. And it takes very large and expensive facilities to contain just 1 gram of antimatter. Some have failed, some have not. If those containment devices fail, they cause megaquakes. It's what happens when they fail. Now we're talking small, tiny drops of antimatter. I mean, just drops of raw antimatter. It's highly unstable. It has to be isolated from the rest of reality when it's contained in a literal sense. Now, given that this can be weaponized, which is true, there are other implications that the average person has not thought about. Our body is held together by...
That's scary right there. That would be that strong of an explosive. 44 times the bomb of Hiroshima. Could you imagine that? Did y'all see what it did to Japan? It was just devastating. It was gone. It just disintegrated everything. Could you imagine something 44 times that, what it would do? Oh my God. You'd blow a country off the map with one bomb. Like the whole map. Like I know a nuclear missile would do some damage to a country, but it wouldn't blow it off the map. That sounds like it would blow your whole country off the map. Like just disintegrate your whole country. One bomb. Boop. Done. Alright. It's a wrap. Next. You know. Wow.
By that glue that they're searching for. That bonds matter together. Those who understand what's called the standard model, they have a pretty good idea of what would happen if the force table in the standard model is just an explanation of how all things work. You're dealing with matter and force, and they have categorized the elements of matter, everything we can touch and feel and observe, in what's called quarks, the building blocks, of protons and nuclei, and leptons, which are essentially, well, that would be like an electron. And then we have force. Force are lumps of energy that transmit the forces that bring matter.
Yeah, nobody needs to be in nothing abusive. Nobody needs to put their hands on each other type thing. Anybody puts their hands on me, it's a wrap. I ain't messing with you no more. It's just because I ain't putting my hands on nobody, and I expect the same from other people. Don't put your hands on me. I ain't putting my hands on you. When you put your hands on somebody, you cross that line, and that's like that line in the sand. You just, once you cross it, it's like, man, why'd you have to do that? Because then you got to cut that person off, and that's just how I am. And I would expect if I was putting my hands on a woman, if I was a, it's like I wouldn't be with no dude that would like beat on me. That would be so, it's not the brightest thing. But some people get themselves in situations they think they can't get out of, and they put up with a lot of abusive stuff that they don't deserve or don't need. So yeah, if anybody's in any type of relationship like that, get out while you can, because it don't get better. If somebody's beating on you, they're only going to beat on you worse and worse, And then it becomes like second nature just to whip your ass, and you don't want to be with
nothing else. Without gluons, which carry a strong force, neutrons and protons would not be held together. In other words, the universe would not exist. And of course, you have your W and Z particles, which are for weak forces that govern radioactivity. So you have this standard model, and they have broken this down. But what they're looking for is a higher explanation of how everything works. This is the particle they're searching for. Now, they found half of it. They already found a component.
Well, some people can love each other, but they ain't meant to be together. It's just the way it is. Some people are like, just ain't meant to be together. No matter how much you like them, you just ain't meant to be with that person. Weird as that is.
Of it. That was the Higgs field. Now, the Higgs field is an explanation of they found the traces of the Higgs field.
Yeah, what about Kevin?
They can now observe the Higgs field. The Higgs field is what is found wherever matter is not. In your room, the Higgs field is in operation. Listen, with the Higgs field, they can begin to alter reality as we know it. Now, a lot of people they can't capture that right away. But you have to remember, our world is made up of matter. The antimatter is what we can't see, what we can't touch, what we can't feel, though we interact with it every day. A lot of people like to think of antimatter as the other dimension, which is the opposite of this dimension. It's an inconceivable place that is hostile inherently. It's not under control. It's very hostile. This dimension would be the more tamed dimension. Here's what they've done since the 1930s. Well, actually, since the 1800s. There was a group that studied nothing but the phenomena of paranormal activity, not like you've seen on TV, not like you've seen in Hollywood, not like anyone knows about. But they studied the science behind paranormal activity and have then defined that this is called a dimensional slip, where things can obviously interact with this world all the time. And they were wondering the interactions between known matter and that type of matter. But they also found with antimatter, this antimatter can be absorbed.
Yeah, he always talks biblical stuff. He talks about the Freemasons and stuff a lot too. Remember, he called in. We talked to him on the phone live, Kevin. And I was talking to him. He made a lot more sense on the phone than he does in his little, because he just randomly throws things out there, like. And sometimes it's hard to keep up with, especially especially back in the day when there was a lot of traffic in the room and things were moving quick. It was hard to keep up with what he was talking about. But yeah, I definitely know who you're talking about, Kevin. I keep up with all you guys. I know who y'all are.
By any realm of paranormal activity. It is, in effect, neutralized and absorbed. So there's a physical effect to the spiritual world in antimatter. And often, demonic entities and all these other paranormal things are attracted to antimatter. They're attracted to it. For every gram of antimatter that's produced, and then it's brought into this world, when they produce it, it attracts things from another dimension coming here.
Oh, shit.
What is CERN going to do? Is to allow humanity to produce pounds of antimatter. What's happening, that is the unseen portion of dark matter. And of course you have the angels which govern what that realm can and cannot do. It's not you know what, it's a shame, and I have to continue to say this, it's a shame that the Christian community cannot believe the Bible when it's talking about things like that, because it's going to cause them to be harmed. What they fail to adopt from the Bible, what they fail to believe, is going to harm them. It's going to harm them. They may not be lost in their spirits, but they're certainly going to have lumps all over the place. It's going to harm them. And I hope people have...
Good morning, guys. Thanks for coming in to Jams TV 2 on this wonderful Monday morning at 8:06 Eastern Standard Time. If you haven't yet, give this video a like. And if you're new, or if you're watching a replay of this long-ass live stream, Kung Fu chop that subscribe button. Ninja kick the bell for notifications. Sumo chop your grandma just for fun. I mean, I don't know.
A general understanding of matter, which we can touch and feel and observe, and antimatter, which we cannot touch, feel, or observe. However, it's working in tandem with the matter, because everything is balanced, the subject of Lucifer in the spiritual sense, because God gives everything balance.
I'll be right back,
everything
guys. I got to teleport,
there's
get me
dark,
something to drink.
Light, there's good, there's bad. Everything has balance. I mean, God could have not. Why did he put the serpent in the garden in the first place? For balance. God can't give us an honest choice unless we're faced with an equal balance of obedience and disobedience, good and evil. And so Lucifer is used to be that balance of darkness with the light that we're given. And the reason why I see people are going to be harmed when they don't believe these things is because if they do not believe in the spiritual realm of our Lord, well, then they're giving the spirits authority to work in their lives. CERN has yielded so many results and gave a true definition of paranormal activity. It's beyond me that a lot of people cannot get this through the truth of the word. They can't. Antimatter is being pulled out of nowhere, out of this other dimension, which is nowhere, but everywhere. In consequence to that, they found out antimatter has a specific type of energy signature that they can, in fact, detect. This is how is part of the process of pulling it out. Well, as it comes to find out, some of the not-so-good consequences of this process has to do with the human psyche. Stephen Hawking, he understands the implications of what could happen. He understands how it can affect the psyche. For a long time, Stephen Hawking did not believe there was a God. For a long time, he didn't. But you see, something is changing with him. He is...
Yeah, he knew he was getting closer to death, and he better make it right with God before his ass checked out.
Beginning to see that everything is so precise, it's impossible for it to be happenstance. I mean, everything down to a trillionth of a trillionth of a trillionth of a trillionth of a meter is absolutely precise. And he's beginning to change his mind. It's what's happening to him. He's changing his mind. He is now beginning to entertain the idea that what people call divine is in fact done by some sort of architect you have no concept of. Now, with the general basis of what CERN is doing, that's the basic idea of what they're doing, and that's exactly what they're doing with particles. Here comes the other part that's not so good. This is why they have to do another set of it. Listen, it's not just one experiment they're about to perform. This thing is going to run 6 months continuously, colliding protons near the speed of light to analyze particles, exotic particles that are made at the beginning of the Big Bang. That's why they call it the Big Bang machine. It's the only way to observe these particles, which wink in and out of existence in, a fraction of time. A fraction of time. And the consequence of this search to gather more and more of this matter, by the way, they have a more efficient method of pulling out or gathering antimatter, which is why they need to know the properties of some more properties of this particle they have described. Once they have these properties, they will be able to extract as much antimatter as they desire efficiently. It's right now to obtain antimatter is very inefficient. It's very inefficient. In other words, to get a pound of it would take about 10,000 years at the current rate. It's just not going to work. CERN will allow them to do that probably within a week. But here's the consequence. They've observed the energy of both matter and antimatter. They found out that antimatter is intimate to every single life form on this planet. They found out that energy signature is the same energy signature in all life on this planet. All life, none excluded. Found out when any life form is in the presence of antimatter, the energy of the life form changes. The energy changes.
This camera makes my face look real red. I gotta set the settings on.
A person has both dark and light already in them. It's part of their makeup. It's what you get. To that